Thank you for tuning in to twitch.tv/LoganRobo and youtube.com/@LoganRobo. Tonight's game is Ace Attorney Investigations 2, Prosecutor's Gambit. Looking for a fun and delicious and nutritious way to start off your day? Try out Cap'n Edgeworth's Branny Fiber Flakes. They're so good, you'll want to eat every last nook and cranny. That's right, Cap'n Edgeworth's Branny Fiber Flakes, now available in 0 stores nationwide. Thank you again for tuning in to twitch.tv/LoganRobo and youtube.com/@LoganRobo. Please enjoy the stream. And we are live! How is everybody doing? I'm like a little bit weirded out right now. Because, what was that? What was that?
Oh, Matt,
hey!
In from a long absence. I'm dog sitting and playing video games right now, but thought I'd listen while I play.
Well, I appreciate you listening. Good to see you, Magpie. Thank you for being here. I'm gonna be honest, every time Lesbian Wolf in chat mentions like Batman or DC Comics, I think of you. We miss you, but I hope you're doing well. Hope you're having fun. Dog sitting. But yeah, like, thank you so much for re-upping the sub. That is 11 months total. So you're a good chunk of the way into the gestation of your second subscription, baby. Thank you very much, Magpie. But yeah, as I was saying, I'm a little bit weirded out right now because my cold is advancing. It's getting better in some ways, but I'm like kind of congested and it's like got my ears all plugged up and everything sounds so quiet to me. Does it sound okay to you guys?
That reminds me of the Caw incident.
Oh my gosh. Okay, for those who don't know the Caw incident, Tiff! Thank you, Tiff, for the 10 bits. We discovered one day that you should not ask TTS Girl to say the word caw repeated over and over and over again. Otherwise, it sounds like you're saying a different word over and over and over again. But thank you very much, Tiff. How are all of you? I see Lesbian Wolf is here first, bright and early, saying hi. Quickity says howdy. Tiff says, yeah, AAI 2-time. Rast says, hey, all ready for P5X tomorrow? Is it tomorrow? Is that wow, that is fast. I still don't know what to think about a gacha Persona game, but I'm excited that other people are all excited. Quickity said, doing some last minute work, adding some Case 5 name facts in case you finish the case earlier than expected. Speaking of which, so here's the plan tonight, okay? We are going to finish this case tonight. We're gonna finish Turnabout Forsaken. However, much like last stream, because my voice is still not doing great from this cold, we may end up ending early tonight. So if we finish the case like around 2 hours, 2.5 hours or something like that, we may just wrap up at that point and save it all for next time. We will see. Depends on how my voice goes, because I was like reviewing the VOD from like last Ace Attorney stream, and yeah, that last hour I sounded awful, and so my apologies for putting you all through that. So we'll see how it goes. Lesbian Wolf says, heck yeah. Rast says, I'm so hyped. Quickity says, that's June, not May. It's not tomorrow, it's next month. Oh, okay, so it is a ways off. Rast says, huh? Quickity said, P5X is June, not May. Rast says, oh, my bad. Tiff says, 6/26, not 5/26. Rast says, lol, I am stupid. It's okay. We've all done that before. Over on YouTube, we got Dermo saying, been a while. Looking forward to the case. Me too. We're finally going to finish it off. Last time was really cool. We had a hype Judge Gavel moment where she suddenly decided to be not awful, which was nice. But how you doing, Dermo? Valtube says, hi, Derma. How you doing, Valtube? Derma says, hi, Val. Toshi says, hi. How you doing, Toshi? Valtube says, Logan, don't finish the case. Don't finish the case or you would die from peak fiction. Can you do that? Is there a doctor in the chat who can verify? Is it possible to die from peak fiction? You're scaring me, Valtube. Derma says, speaking of hearing, my headphones broke, so I'll be hearing stream entirely to my right. Oh, I hate when that. The worst is when you have headphones, the one's going out and it like flickers in and out. We got Jose Ignacio Andrade. Am I saying that right? I hope I'm saying that right. Welcome, Jose. Said, which case is he on? We are finishing up Turnabout Forsaken tonight. If you're new here, Jose, let me give you the quick rundown and everything while we load up the game. For the channel, just in general, we stream Tuesdays, Thursdays, Fridays, and Sundays, currently alternating between this game, Ace Attorney Investigations 2, Prosecutor's Gambit, and Metaphor Refantasio, a really fun JRPG from the makers of Persona. And so, yeah, we're going to be finishing up this case tonight. We'll see. I've been sick this past week, so we'll see if I have it in me to then begin the next case, or we might just wind down a little bit early tonight and give my voice a rest. We'll see how it works, but welcome! How did you find your way here, Jose? Are you just a fan of Ace Attorney? Saw somebody who's playing it? Dermo says, fourth. Valtube says, welcome, Jose. Oh, the other thing, Jose, I read every comment in chat. I just am always very far behind. And so, like, right now over on Twitch, we are 7 minutes into chat, and I'm probably 4 minutes behind already. So prepare yourselves. There's going to be a lot of me pausing every now and then just to read some chat. Let's see. Queekita said, nah, that's fair. Just one number. Tiff said, nah, simple mistake. I wish it was tomorrow. Queekita says, for real. Ras says, but apparently we surpassed the goal for the pre-registration gifts. So we got the gifts in the stream. And there was Magpie re-up in the sub. Thank you again, Magpie. And it is so good to see you. Okay. So let's start this off. So where we left off last time, it seemed like all hope was lost, all was against us, and because we know it's Excelsius, but we were lacking some last bit of vital evidence. We got Nurse Needler and Hilda Hertz to kind of turn on him. I think it was because at one point Gavel whispered with Hilda Hertz, and I'm guessing that they worked out some type of a plea deal, like immunity from prosecution if they testify against Excelsius, because then Rydu's was like, all right, sorry, Edgeworth, nothing else to do, time to pass down the verdict or whatever. And Gavel, it looked like she was going to, formally indict Kay. Instead, she has accused Excelsius. And so he's got, his cross-examination to kind of defend himself. And so we're, toward the end of it. So who knows? We might just finish this up in the first 20 minutes and then go right into the next case. Or maybe it'll take forever, because I feel like there's a lot we still don't know. We don't know what happened to Rosie Ringer 12 years ago, why or how she was conspiring with Kay to try and get rid of this illicit underground auction place. A lot of stuff we don't know, but we will figure this all out in just a moment. But yes, and I'll read some more chat in a minute. Let me have a sip of water. Let's dive into this cross-examination. We'll get going. Oh, but I forgot to ask, how are all of you? How's your weekend going? I hope it's been going well. Tomorrow's Memorial Day, right? So that's a day off for a lot of people, not for me. I just barely realized that a while ago. So it's going to be a busy day at work tomorrow. But yes, I hope your weekend has gone well. And for those who don't know the deal here, every time we have a cross-examination, we press every statement before we present evidence, just in case there's any fun content we don't want to miss.
Young Rosie was a member of the committee, of course.
Hold it! As a member of the committee, you must at least have been familiar with her face. Oh, that's right. What we're trying to show is that he had some connection to Rosie Ringer, right?
Sure, but that's about all. I saw her every once in a while.
Oh, that's it. Okay.
But we never really had any personal interactions, at least none that I remember.
Hold it! Hold it! See, my voice is already cracking. So, you're saying you barely knew the victim at all?
That's exactly what I'm saying, my boy, yes. Why, I never even knew about that burn mark on her hand.
You didn't?
I mean, what's the point, Sniffle? You get to know somebody, but before you know it, they're gone. It's become such a pain to remember things about others. They're here one day, then gone the next. Sploosh.
Yes, because they dare to stand up to you and you make them disappear. If you could please add your remark about the victim's burn to your testimony, Chairman Winner. Okay, so that makes me think that he at some point earlier either said or did something to imply that he already knew about. Oh! There was wasn't there a statement from Lotta Hart? Hang on. I think she updated her statement. Where was it? Miss Hart's statement. No, it wasn't that. It was not that. Sorry, it was the recording. We found the recording in the broken plushie, fitted with a recording device, captured part of the conversation. One of the people recorded had a prominent burn. Oh, can we not listen to it again? I thought, or maybe we need to click it and then that'll play it again. I'm trying to remember exactly what it was that that played. It was in the audio hole. The left horn is missing. Oh, we don't get to hear. Oh, maybe it was the other horn. Twisting horn makes it play the record. I want to hear the recording, yeah. I knew it was you the moment I laid eyes on you. You can't hide that burn from me. Okay, so that was where someone mentioned the burn. But the problem is we have to make some type of a connection to show that this was Excelsius. So we're close. So I don't know if it's that piece of evidence, but we've almost got it. So that's what it's going to be there. If you could please add your remark about the victim's burn to your testimony, Chairman Winner.
Why, I didn't even know about the burn mark on her hand.
Hold it!
You're sure you didn't know about the burn mark?
You really don't let up, do you? I'm not in the habit of memorizing who has a scar on their hand and who doesn't.
But this wasn't just any old scar. I'd say it's pretty noticeable, in fact.
Perhaps under normal circumstances, but now that I think about it, Ms. Ringer did always wear gloves.
That in of itself is noticeable. It's like with Kyoko in Danganronpa. It's noticeable that you wear gloves. So you gotta ask about it. And yeah. Anyway, let me read a couple more comments in the chat because I am already behind. Let's see. Ras says, I want to hear that. Lol. Magpie says, aw, thank you for thinking of me. I'm actually playing Lego DC Villains right now. Lol. Dog sitting who? Keeshons. They look like big fluffy teddy bears. Okay, I don't know that breed of dog. Hang on, I'm gonna Google that because now I'm curious. Keeshond. Oh, that is a cute dog. It looks like a large Pomeranian. That's cute. Awesome. Quiggity said, very fair, Logan. Understandable. Oh, and I was going to ask Magpie, yeah, what DC? I didn't know there was a DC Villains game. That's cool. Quiggity said, also, I had no idea you sounded weird, but then again, I'm deaf with a hearing processor, so I can't really talk about that law. Yeah, I didn't feel that bad, but when you watch it, it's very obvious in that last hour. Over on YouTube, let's see. Jose says, yep, Ace Attorney fan, nice. We've played like all the mainline games and the other investigations game, and then at some point after this, we're probably going to do Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. Dermo says, any idea on what the things on Excelsius' coat, the button-looking things? Yes, they are prosecutor's badges. He hasn't mentioned specifically why he has so many, but I've said what my guess is. You know how you ever watch like old World War II fighter pilot movies that the pilots would always like stamp the enemy army's insignia on the side of their plane every time they shot down one of the enemy planes? And so it like racks up a tally for how many of the enemy they've shot down, right? I can't be the only person who's familiar with this old trope, right? So my thought is that since he's the head of the Committee of Prosecutorial Excellence, who is in charge of like basically firing prosecutors, I'm guessing those are the badges that are like trophies for every prosecutor he has had eliminated or fired or whatever. He's taken their badge and added it to his coat. So that's what I assume why he has so many, but it's totally the prosecutor badge logo. Jose says, nope. Valtube said, lately I've been playing Ghost Trick. I'm on chapter 13. Nice. That was a fun game. That was a real fun game too. Jose said, Ghost Trick is also peak. It is. In fact, once you're done playing a Valtube, you can check out our old Ghost Trick clips. I believe they should be on YouTube Shorts. And if you scroll down far enough on TikTok. Valtube says, true. Dermot says, badges. Maybe they're all the ones taken from embarrassed prosecutors. I think you're right. I heard a Tomcat. I think it means I need to get back in the game. I will read some more of the chat in a minute. I'm behind on both Twitch and YouTube right now. Huh?
Hey Longa, I was making Nora finish an episode of One Piece, but we are now here.
Nice! Welcome, Oak and Nora. Oak, I wanted to ask you because we've been having issues with clips where they're not playing. And I think one or two streams ago, a couple of streams ago, you had said that you found a thing that if you share the URL versus like clicking the share button or copy and paste in like some way that it worked and didn't work. Do you remember what that was? Oak, but thank you so much for the 10 bits. How are the both of you doing? Oak and Nora, hope your weekend's going well. And Nora, did you watch that part of the VOD I told you to watch with your favorite, Gavel here? Let's play a little bit more though. We're still cross-examining Excelsius. I should, for the lurkers and the new people, I should probably put up some pretense of actually playing the game. Warning new people like Jose. I like to yap with our community. I hope you don't mind.
Perhaps under normal circumstances, but now that I think about it, Ms. Ringer did always wear gloves. Truth be told, I wasn't aware of the burn mark until after the incident myself.
The victim's hands were always covered by a pair of gloves.
It makes sense, of course. People can be very self-conscious about such things.
Yeah, so here are the badges we were talking about. So you can see his own prosecutor badge up here, and he has the same logo on his shoulder. And if you notice, it isn't even like a square pattern. There's like an empty spot to suggest that he's like adding to it as lines. So that's why I was saying I think they're like the stamps on the side of a World War II fighter plane.
I can only sympathize, being something of a sensitive soul myself, Sniffle.
I hope you're not too sensitive to append that statement to your testimony.
Although I suppose...
Oh, okay, so crap. So maybe it wasn't just that he didn't know about... Okay, it wasn't just that he didn't know about the burn, it's that she was always wearing gloves. So we're adding all sorts of statements. This is going to be more tricky than I thought.
Although I suppose she was always wearing gloves, perhaps it was to hide that burn.
Hold it!
Hold it! So you remember her always wearing gloves?
I mean, it was something of a trademark of hers, yes.
Huh?
Do you think Excelsius got Prosecutor badge themed bed sheets and PJs? Shower curtain too?
Ooh, he has shower curtain and a shower loofah. He scrubs himself with one.
Hey, loser. Feeling any better?
Clam! I am, like, somewhat better. We are 17 minutes into stream and I haven't had to pause to cough up a lung yet, which is actually a marked improvement over every other day this week so far. But I jinxed myself right as I said that. I got a cough there. But Clam, sorry for bugging you the other day. We did end up getting a fill-in, so it was fine. Yeah, I had to. I guess most of the chat doesn't know. I was supposed to do improv last night, but I had to cancel because I was still feeling sick. There we go. But how you doing? Thank you, Vera and Clam, for the 10 bits each. Welcome. How are you doing? But yes. I think he probably... It's the whole thing, because, like, in this game, nobody has any chill. If you were into something, you were into that thing with, like, everything you do. So, yes, he probably has Prosecutor badge themed all the stuff. But thank you very much, Vero and Clam, for the 10 bits each. I appreciate that.
I mean, it was something of a trademark of hers, yes. Who knew it was to hide a burn mark? I always imagined it was just a fashion statement. Does your little friend there have something to hide under those bandages, I wonder?
She's 17, dude. Don't ask what our little friend has to hide. Who, me? No, I don't have anything to hide. In fact, when my sprite switches sides I'm talking from, my bandages switch eyeballs. You can see them both at any time.
You don't? Not even the stony visage of a cold-blooded murderer?
Objection! She could be a warm-blooded murderer. If anyone here is hiding such a thing, it's you! And I'll expose your true face if it's the last thing I do. Oh, that's right. The other thing we realized is that the Lotta Hart testified that the auctioneer, the head of the smuggling ring, his mask didn't cover up his chin or like the bottom of his face, and she said he had a face tattoo. But the problem is Excelsius has a beard, and so I'm wondering if the beard is fake, and I think there's a tattoo of a prosecutor's badge on his chin that we're going to see that the beard's probably going to catch fire, get burned up, something like that. Oh, there's a pin message written by Queen Katie, pinned by Crystal. Says, last minute fun fact lol, on the Nintendo DS version of the game, his front-facing mini sprites all have 2 sets of prosecutor's badges, one on each side of his jacket, despite all other art of him only having one on his left side. This does have the effect of ensuring consistency between the left-facing and right-facing sprites, which are simply mirrored. Nonetheless, the double badges are corrected in the Ace Attorney Investigations collection version of the front-facing sprites. It's amazing that they went to the trouble to fix that for him and didn't go to the trouble to fix the bandages for Kay, though. Sorry, just had another really bad cough. I apologize. I hope I'll be better this next week. But let's read a couple of comments in the chat, because I am getting even farther behind than usual for this early in the stream. But thank you very much, Crystal. Crystal, how are you doing? I didn't even notice that you'd come in here. Quigate says, okay, got all the Case 5 name facts on my Stream Deck, except for one, mostly because of how to explain the name fact. Spoiler, chat sort of knows what I mean. Lol, ooh, it's mysterious. And Bumbo says, hello, not feeling great, entirely my fault. How are y'all? I'm doing all right. I hope you get feeling better, Bumbo. Are like physically not well, or just kind of like, either way, let us know if there's anything we can do to like cheer you up, Bumbo. Over on YouTube, Yeah, Dermo was saying badges. Maybe they're all the ones taken from disbarred Prosecutor. See, just like I was thinking. Valtube said, yes, they are Prosecutor badges. Dermo said, Ghost Trick is phenomenal. I'm still bummed to this day that when we played it, we didn't get as many people watching and interested in that game, because it really is a fun game. Valtube says, Danganronpa reference. There was. And we snuck it in before Nora got here because she's still playing the first game. Valtube said, DC Lego Villains is peak. Here's a question. Here's how you know if it's peak. Can you play as the Riddler? He's my favorite. If you can play as the Riddler, then I'll assume it is indeed peak. Opinion! How you doing, Opinion? Says currently watching the stream on mute because I'm playing a game with family, and I don't want to leave because I might be able to win. Nice! Congratulations! I'm sorry you're on mute so you can't hear me saying this, but it's good to have you here, Opinion. Derma says, I just thought they were extra buttons, like he really likes sewing. Opinion says, hi, I'm here properly. My mom won. Well, congratulations to Mom Opinion, then. And Opinion says, oh, Ghost Trick is so good, I just wish it had, vague spoilers, less fridged wives. Well, you could say they're fridged, but they're very often thawed back out. Very frequently, based just because of the mechanics of the game. Quiggy says, aw, shucks. Tiff says, I'm going to be kind of lurky tonight. I have some alcohol in my system, so I don't want to embarrass myself too much, so I'm just going to chill here with my Buzz Blast and my Whopper. I don't know what a Buzz Blast is. Is that the alcoholic beverage? Because I don't drink. I don't know cool stuff like that. But thank you for being here nonetheless, Tiff. And if you do decide to chime in, we will be very extra understanding of any buzzed blastness going on with your system here. But either way, so good to have you here, Tiff. Quiggy says, Logan with a holla. Bubba says, Sweet Tooth went a bit too crazy today, and now I face the consequences. Okay, so I hear you on that. Well, but was it worth it, Bumbo? And Crystal says, I need a Cove Holden in my life. Oh, isn't that the guy you're romancing now instead of Elliot? Says it's a visual novel character. Oh, so somebody else. Who was it then? Huh?
I don't know cool stuff like that. Logan endorses alcohol as cool circuit 2025.
No, actually I don't.
Boo.
I don't. I live a life of sobriety, and that is the cool. I mean, like in the sense, like the cool kids, like they know about that stuff, but you don't do it. Kids, don't do the alcohol. If somebody gives you the opportunity, it's like, hey, would you like to join us? We are going to alcohol together this evening. Say, no, man, I don't alcohol. My parents taught me it's bad to alcohol and vehicle or something. What was that? Oh, we got a follow from during that. Oh, it's Jose. Is this the same Jose as over on YouTube? Thank you so much for the follow. Jose 364. Welcome. I'll assume that you're the same person. If you're a new person, mention it in chat and I can give you the rundown that I gave YouTube, Jose. But I should probably play some game. Once again, I'm getting very distracted, very behind on everything. Huh?
It's a mixture of 2 Buzz Balls, which is alcohol,
oh, okay,
and 3 cans of Baja Blast in a 1-liter tumbler.
Ooh, is that safe? Because I remember hearing something, there was issues with like alcoholic energy drinks. I'll just trust you to make sure that you are consuming responsibly. But thank you very much for the 10 bits, Tiff. And I hope you're having a fun evening, regardless. Because even though I don't drink, I am sober. I don't take it upon myself to tell other people what they can or can't do. So I hope you're having a fun evening. Huh?
What if they're my friends and my friends are a polite bunch who never do wrong? They're nonchalant about it and you feel peer pressured because everyone is drinking but you.
You know what, Vero? If they were nonchalant about jumping off a bridge, would you do that too? Huh?
I've done it before and I'm here to tell the tale. So.
Okay, so I just want to make sure. Thank you very much, well, Vero and Tiff for the bits, and Tiff for the reassurance that you'll be healthy. And Vero, I never understood peer pressure style. I had the weirdest experience. So last time I went to a Transformers convention, I was hanging out at the like kind of the hotel lounge area with some friends one night in the evening. And at one point, this girl was like going around all the different tables, and it came around to ours and was like offering everybody marijuana edibles or something like that. And I had never been offered one of those before. And I'm like, no, thanks. But it was just like such a weird thing. It's like people actually do that. They offer that. But it wasn't even like, oh, I'm tempted. It's like, oh, what? No. Thanks for offering, but no. Have a good night. Hang on. I should stop talking about how I am a buzzkill with that type of stuff, though. But thank you very much, both of you, for the 10 bits. Oh, hang on, there is a pin message. Oh, Crystal Pin Jose's message. Yes, I changed to Twitch. Awesome, well, welcome. Thank you for being here. I'm happy to have you on both Twitch and YouTube. I try my best to read comments on both, and I will read some more in a minute. I should actually play some game. We are 26 minutes into into stream, and I've probably played a total of 8 minutes of game, and I should probably change that. But once again, I like to yap. I like to chat. I miss you guys. I love all you guys. I'm sorry that I can't just read all your comments nonstop, but I will get back to them soon on both Twitch and YouTube. And I'll expose your true face if it's the last thing I do.
Oh, you never fail to entertain, my boy. Go ahead and do your worst.
So Ms. Ringer always wore gloves. That reminds me of something. I should look over all the evidence again. Okay, so we should check to see if there's evidence of her fingerprints on something. Maybe. Oh, but the photo of her in the hoodie, she wasn't wearing gloves. But she was also wearing a mask at the time. Oh, anyway, let's keep going. There's something here. But that's... Anyway, we'll come back to it. We gotta press these remaining statements.
I had no motive to murder that poor girl whatsoever.
Hold it!
You never had any trouble with her professionally?
Oh, don't be silly, my boy. I'm far too important these days for such trivialities. And by all accounts, her work was unimpeachable. Sploosh. Besides, our difference in standing meant we hardly ever interacted.
But that doesn't prove you didn't kill her, does it?
Well, you would say that, wouldn't you? Anything to save your little friend,
It certainly seems that Ms. Ringer had some personal interest in you, at least.
Indeed, indeed. But I can't for the life of me imagine why. Too bad, so sad. Without a motive, you can't logic your way into pinning this on me. And I have absolutely no idea why she was after me.
Hold it!
You have no idea at all as to why she was after you.
Well, let's see now.
It's because Dad's a real catch. I'd marry him right now if he wasn't already married to my mom.
I suppose you could say that, yes. The admirers, they come, and then they go again.
You couldn't even dream of being like my dad.
Very true. I doubt many ordinary people could quite match his achievements. It's remarkable, really, to have so many people come into a life, and then for so many leave it. I certainly won't complain if you chose to leave Verity, my dear.
I think it's far more likely that you will be the one leaving today. In handcuffs! And not like the fuzzy ones that man got for me. I mean the uncomfortable metal ones. They chafe your wrists.
Yes, very droll. But if you think I'm finished, you'll be sorely disappointed.
I have to think back over what we know about the victim. If you're not sure how to approach I can't do the German accent while I'm sick like this. If you're not sure how to approach this, take another look at the evidence. You just might find a new way to interpret old information. Are you trying to help me, Franziska? I'm trying to help Kay Faraday. I couldn't care less about you, Sassy-bak Oni-chan. Nice to see she really is worried for Kay in her own Franziska sort of way. I've mentioned before, I do really like Franziska's relationship with Kay, how she looks after her. She's like a nice aunt. Okay, so we need to figure out what it is. It's either to prove you knew about the burns or that she sometimes doesn't wear gloves, huh?
Frenzy, you mean Ototo.
She's oh yeah, because Emoto is younger sister. Is Ototo? I thought Ototo was younger brother. She should be an Emoto, right? Do I have it wrong? Do I need to double check on Duolingo? But thank you very much for the 10 bits. I appreciate that, Veer. Let's read some comments in the chat. Queen Katie says, to Crystal, enjoying our life. And Bumbo with a hydrate command. Thank you so much, Bumbo. Jose, as you can see, like, I'm probably reading stuff that is cleared out of the chat before he got here. Thank you, Bumbo. Tiff says to Bumbo, darn you, you beat me to it. Vera says, Tiff, hello, chat. Tiff says, Vero. Bubba says, hey, how you? Quickita said, Vero. Vera says, hi. We're finishing this tonight. Crystal says, I'm holding a dolphin balloon, bro, heart. Oh, heartbroken. Tiff says to Bumbo, I'm good. Besides the sweet tooth stuff, how are you? Crystal says, we crying with Cove for real, huh?
She calls him little brother, that's why.
Okay, because she calls it. Oh, that's right. Even though he's older, she calls him little. There we go. So she is, yes. So thank you very much, Vero. That makes much more sense. I appreciate that. And thank you for the 10 bits again. Kim says, Streamly check-in. Have a fun stream, y'all. Remember to stay hydrated. Even though Bumbo hydrated me, I'll do it again for you, Kim. Thank you. I'm assuming you've already gone to bed. Good night, Tim. Kim, not Tim. Kim, thank you for being here. Bumbo says to Tiff, other than that, I am well, just chilling otherwise today. Vera said, oh, who put Crystal on our life? And then there's a shout out for Kim. Let me check over on YouTube. Let's see. Dermo says, I watched the VODs, probably the first ones I completed. Nice. I hope you approved of my playstyle for Ghost Trick, even though I got really stuck on some of the puzzles. I think there was one where like the drapes would open and shut, and there was like a seesaw type of a thing. Oh, it was so hard. Oh, and then the one at the end where the guy was running across the playground. Oh boy. Toshi says, I recommend Ghost Trick to every person I see breathing. Well, what if they're holding their breath? Then are you not allowed to? Or if they're swimming underwater or something? Dermo says, isn't caffeine and alcohol a pretty bad idea? I don't drink, but it's an upper and a downer mixed, so it stresses your system. Be careful. That's what I was saying. I don't know, but I've heard that. Because wasn't that the whole thing with there was what was it called? Like Four Loko or something like that? It was an alcoholic energy drink and it got banned because it was dangerous. Oh, Little Frost with a crown says, hi, welcome, Little Frost. Are you new? I don't know how long ago you got here, if you're still here. If you're new, I got to give you the rundown, the community on the channel real quick, too. Hi, Little Frost. I love that. That's like Jack Frost. You're even here on like a non-Atlas game night. My name is Logan. We stream Tuesdays, Thursdays, Fridays, and Sundays. Currently alternating between this game, Ace Attorney Investigations 2 Prosecutors Gambit, and Metaphor Fantasio, which you may know is very similar to Persona. So yeah, and I read every comment in chat. I'm just always behind, and so that's why it takes me a while to get there. So I hope you're still here, but and if you are here, you see that I did get to your hi. So hi, Little Frost. Opinion says Eustace's mom disappeared. That's right. She left to go get some milk and never returned. Valtube says, I love Franziska so much in this. She is really sweet in this. I did not like her in Justice for All for most of it until the very, very end of the game, but she's very good in this game. All right, let's play some game. I miss you already, chat, but I'll talk to you all some more in just a few moments. Okay, so we got to review all the evidence. So it's probably going to be this statement because this one was the most recently revealed statement. Although I suppose she was always wearing gloves, perhaps it was to hide that burn. So let's take a look at all of our evidence here. So we got the Yatagrasu pin Kay always wears, probably unrelated. The Jamma Ninja mask, a mask model on the Jamma Ninja's face made of cheap plastic. That is, I presume, the mask that Rosie Ringer was wearing. Because Kay Faraday was found with it later, so probably not related to the burn marks. The letter Kay was carrying, it's addressed to her. Does this say anything about hands? Dear Kay, don't worry, I'll make sure you get your precious thing back. Again, that's the Promise Journal, we assume. They haven't said for sure, but that's got to be the Promise Diary. The ticket stub for the ticket granting entry to the viewing platform on top of the Big building. The magenta flower made of fabric that is usually worn on the chest as a decoration torn from the victim's clothes. Big building pamphlet contains a cross-section of the building and a plan of the viewing platform. Kay's recollections. Kay remembers a person coming from beyond the concession stand and pushing her off the building. A key card that grants entry to the committee chamber found in the victim's hand. Okay, nothing yet. Candelabrum, a 3-armed candle holder that may have been the murder weapon, judging by the wounds to the victim's chest. We got the autopsy report. Death occurred as a result of a heavy blow to the head with a circular object, chest wounds inflicted post-mortem. And in this picture, we can see her not wearing gloves, but there are a pair of gloves here, but these are the auctioneer's gloves, right? See if there's anything here. Victim's body discovered in the committee chamber's autopsy place. Time of death around 11 p.m. the previous night. Cause of death appears to be a blunt force trauma from an object with circular striking surface, which we determine is the auctioneer's gavel, which we haven't been able to find. We assume that the auctioneer disposed of it in some way. Puncture wounds to the chest were inflicted post-mortem. Other remarks, prominent burn mark on the back of victim's right hand side, Hilda Hertz, coroner. Keycard record of the keycard used to enter the committee chamber. Nothing really there. We see Verity coming in to get the IS-7 file, and then Rosie Ringer coming in at 12:52 a.m. Or I assume her body probably brought in at that point because it was 11 p.m. she died, but that was during the auction and it was up in the storeroom. Victim's letter. A letter that appears to have been written to the victim by Kay. Rosie, thanks so much for agreeing to help with my plan. Now we can both get what we want. Good luck getting your revenge for what happened 12 years ago, Kay. I'm guessing whatever happened 12 years ago is also what gave her the burn? Ringleader's appearance. Ringleader wore a white jacket, white gloves, a magenta flower, and a mask. Also had a tattoo on part of their face the mask didn't cover. We should have asked, Lotta what the tattoo looked like and where on the face. Again, I'm assuming it's going to be Prosecutor badge. Either right there or maybe on the neck jowl. Ms. Hart's statement. Ms. Hart observations about what happened during the mysterious auction. Let's see anything here. Illicit auction held in Big building. Items on sale were mainly items of police evidence related to homicide cases. 11 attendees altogether. All were wearing masks. Auction continued even after Ringer's murder, but the sound of the auctioneer's hammer could no longer be heard. That's because it was used as the murder weapon. Broken plushie fitted with a recording device that captured part of the conversation. One of the people recorded had a prominent burn. So that's related somehow, because of course the person goes, hey, I recognize that burn. But it's not going to prove that either Excelsius knew about the burn or that she didn't always wear gloves. And we need to prove one of those two things. Selection of various masks kept on rack. Each participant in the auction wore one. Ms. Hart's picture. Now this picture shows her not wearing gloves. So we might be able to use this? But again, this wouldn't prove that this proves that the auctioneer, the ringleader would know of it, but we'd have to show something Excelsius would know that she doesn't have gloves. Elevator blood. Blood was detected on the secret elevator. It looks like it dripped through the floor below. Closed box in which the killer hid the body. Traces of blood were detected inside. Blood found in the committee chamber was a place there to hide the existence of the storeroom. Red raincoat worn by the victim whose fingerprints... Oh, her fingerprints! And blood were found in the hood. So that shows that she was not wearing gloves. But I'm not sure if that doesn't prove that he wouldn't have seen her without gloves, but that might be it. Nurse Needler's statement. Needler's description of how she swapped places with Rosie Ringer. Ringleader prepared wigs in order to enable her accomplice to disguise herself as Ms. Ringer. There are two wigs. I still believe the other wig was meant for Kay Faraday because the hair was wavy. One wig was straight, the other's wavy. Ringer's hair was straight, so wavy was not used. And finally, IS-7 incident case file. This is just all the stuff about the murder of Artie Frost. Body of Artie Frost discovered in a mansion belonging to Samson Tangaroa. And the whole thing was just that Hilda Hertz was the coroner, right? The falsified, right? Carmela Gusto, Artie Frost's sons, would both visit Tangaroa's mansion up through the day before the incident. From that day of the incident on, where their whereabouts. Crap! This is a thinker. Let me save, because we're shameless save scummers who scum our saves. I see the Twitch chat is already on slow mode, which must mean I am already very far behind. Actually, we're not going to save this one. We're gonna, because that's the one with Tangaroa I keep accidentally loading. We want to leave that there, just for funsies. Those who know, you know. Let me read a couple comments in chat while I think this over, because I feel like I'm close, but I'm not quite there. Crystal says to Vera, why? Vera said to Kim, hi, take it easy. Crystal says, is me discovering our life bad? Oh yeah, because Vera just said who put Crystal onto our life. Tiff says, what is our life? Vera said, you're going to be stuck with us waiting for the second game. Quickita said, yes, join the brain rot. Do feel free to yell at me in Discord DMs. Crystal says, a visual novel game. Magpie says, a pronounced Keysound. Keysound, am I saying it right now? Keysound? Crystal says, I'm sneaking in your room through the window, Vera. Vera says, why? Quickita said, our life is a free visual novel where, oh, that's right, where you grow up with the love. It's one of my favorite games ever. That's the game you were playing on stream the other day. And Vera said, I am right to my window laughing. Crystal says, laughing. Vera said, wait, are we doing TGAA after this confirmed? Not necessarily right after this. I think we might have a buffer game But at some point soon after this, I think we ought to have like a shorter game in the interim, but I haven't quite decided yet. Over on YouTube, Chaotic is here saying, objection, who's a better Persona MC based on their story and their dialogue? It's tough because all three of them, at least of the three that I played, are kind of blank slates that the player can just kind of imprint on top of. I would say probably Joker. But any of the three of them, I think, can be whatever you want them to be. So it's hard to say, but how you doing, Chaotic? Okay. Always wearing gloves. Perhaps it was to hide that burn. Let's try presenting the raincoat and that it had her fingerprints on it. Because what was the other statement about the burn? Why I didn't even know about the burn mark on her hand. Again, the recording we hear someone saying that, but we don't, that's not proof that he was the one who knew it. So let's try to present the red raincoat and see if that works.
Objection!
Nope! Chairman Winner, take a look at this piece of evidence.
Well, you certainly seem fired up about it, my boy. I'm not entirely sure why, though. Perhaps you ought to cool your head a little and think things over again. Before I lose my cool from wasting my time on meaningless theories. Sploosh.
Oh, I must have made a mistake. Ha, you think you can win against a winner? Think again. My dad's in... That's the sound of the Invincible title card coming up. I still need to watch the new season. He's the top of the top, the winningest winner of all.
Yes, the cheerleading is a little cringe-inducing, though, Eustace. Maybe you could give it a rest.
He's no ordinary opponent, that's for sure. I'll need to plan my approach with the utmost care. Okay, so because I scummed my saves, I'm gonna reload, and we gotta figure out what it is. So, again, I am assuming that it's gotta be that statement. Because we had to press through a statement and then press through the new statement added in order to get that. So, it's probably that also. She always was wearing gloves. Perhaps it was to hide that burn. What else? Again, the photo that Lotta took, but again, that doesn't prove anything. Well, what would help is if we could prove that she didn't wear gloves outside of the auction. What else do we have? I mean, we still have, like, the fact that we can examine the Yatagarasu pin and there was nothing there. Maybe, like, there should be some fingerprint on it of hers. I might need to call for a potato pretty soon. Death occurred result a heavy blow to the head with circular object, chest wound inflicted post-mortem. Where was the statement from Nurse Needler about swapping places? Oh, that's just about the wigs. Crap. Okay, we gotta think. What would cause a burn like that on the hand? What would cause a burn on the hand? We saw the letter, something happened 12 years ago. I was gonna say we could check the IS-7 incident, but that was 18 years ago, not 12. While we're thinking, let's try presenting just some stuff. Let's try presenting the picture that shows her bare hand with the blood on it.
Objection!
I know that's not it either. Okay, and the same dialogue as before. Crap. I am stumped. I gotta figure this out. This is I think Quick Katie said this is the last cross-examination of the case with, huh?
So I wanted some food, so I went upstairs to get a Uncrustable, only to realize I didn't have any left. What, no, I'm not drunk anyways. I got sad and went back downstairs to the stream, only to realize I brought them down with me. I went to get only to realize I only have the box gotten. Sad again and went to the bathroom. Boom, Uncrustable. I'm going to McDonald's.
I can't tell if it's done or not. I feel like Beef Longa forgot the word box at one point there. Thank you so much for the Beef Longa TTS, Oak. And my thing is working again to let me know that it was you. It was broken the past couple of streams. So thank you for the Beef Longa TTS. I was gonna mix the Uncrustables. Oh, those are just little sandwiches without the crust. What was the, what were the things that were the Lunchables that were made by influencers? I think it was one of the Paul brothers. Either Jake Paul or Logan Paul, but like they had a thing where they were showing up moldy. I can't remember. Okay, we gotta figure this out. I will read some more chat in a little bit. I am sorry, chat, I will get back to you, but we need to figure out what evidence shows that she wasn't always wearing gloves, huh?
Logan and Daddy, I have been driving to McDonald's and I think I hit another salmon. No, Dad, I am not drunk. This is the second time this has been happening. I'm sorry for killing my ex-wife's a salmon boyfriend. Oh, I'm not crying. My eyes are just wet from the rain.
From the rain. Thank you for another Beef Longa TTS. You gotta be careful with them salmon crossing the road, because they cross the road against traffic just like they swim upstream. So they just go right into your cars. You gotta be careful. And don't let your new wife see the dead salmon, because even dead, they are sexy fish. My apologies to people who are new to the channel and don't know all of our inside jokes about that stuff. That must have sounded very weird. But thank you very much for the 50 bits for the Beef Longa TTS. Oh, for 2 sets of them. Thank you. That's $1. $1 for me, it probably cost you $2. Okay, so what could this be? So thank you, Oak. That she's always wearing gloves. The autopsy report. Again, we have a photo of her not wearing gloves. But that doesn't seem particularly important. I suppose she always was wearing gloves. Perhaps it was to hide that burn. Maybe it's did the burn go up higher than the glove? Are we going to say, how do you know that the burn only would have been under a glove and not up the whole arm? Other remarks, prominent burn mark on the back of the victim's right hand. Are we going to say, how would you even know about the burn? Let's try presenting it. What do we got to lose except hit points?
Objection!
Nope, not that. Okay. If not that, what else have we tried? Have we tried the photo of her in the hoodie? I hate to brute force this, but it's been a long time since this game has stumped me this badly. I think we tried this picture already, because we tried let's try it again, just to be sure. Yeah, okay, so it's not that. I might need to call for a potato to let me know if I'm at least on the correct statement. Because it feels like it's got to be the statement, but maybe the game is throwing me off. I mean, we could try presenting the previous statement. Why I didn't even know about the burn mark on her hand. I gotta read some chat. Wow. Let me read some comments in the chat. Magpie says, the DC Villains game is fun. You can make your own villain. So I immediately made the Red Hood. I'm wondering if the actual Red Hood will show up later and make me look silly. Lol. Vera said, I thought we won't be playing until late 2025 for some reason. Well, again, we'll probably put like some game in between, but we'll get there. Queen said, yeah, but I'm back to Kickstarter, so I'm excited to see my name in the credits, and it's Queen Katie Bat, so... Vera said, I did too, laughing. Queen says, nice. Crystal says, any thoughts about Baxter? And Vera says, meh. Let's see, over on YouTube, Chaotic says, I think all are good options. In my opinion, it's Makoto Yuki. His dialogue shows the type of person he is, and the movies are really show it because they don't have to worry about gameplay reasons. I saw a clip from one of the live Persona stage shows that kind of cracked me up. It was Makoto along with Junpei and Yukari, and they're doing like this dance thing together, like three of them, they're all dancing in sync for some musical number. But the funny thing was that like Junpei and Yukari were clapping, but Makoto was so cool and casual that his hands in his pockets, and so every time he was on a clap, he just would like flap his hands against his thigh like that instead. It seemed very in character. I liked it. Opinion says, I've forgotten what the correct evidence is, but I don't want to speculate because I think my guess is right. Chaotic said, didn't have to say my opinion was wrong. And Derma says, well,
There is a hint ready if you need it, Logan.
Okay. Oh, I see the pin message. Thank you. Let me try one more time. And then after that, I'll probably take a hint. So thank you very much, Tiff, for the 10 bits and for the pin message. Pin message on Twitch, saying they have a hint. Thank you. Dermo says, Feastables, that's what it was. Said, funny thing is, they advertise how they use real cheese and got caught with mold. It's almost like other products don't use real cheese for a reason. Yeah, real cheese does taste better. But yeah, you don't want it in that type of a thing. So thank you very much. Okay, so we got to figure this out. It's either didn't even know about the burn mark on her hand, or although I suppose she was always wearing gloves, perhaps it was to hide that burn. It's got to be one of those two statements, because those were the two that were added. This one is most likely because we had to press the statement that was already added in order just to get this one added in the first place. So let's review the evidence one more time. If I can't figure it out, then we will call for a hint. Unless, we can present profiles too. Oh no, we can't present profiles. We can look at them, but we can't present them. So we got the Yatagrasu pin. The Yatagrasu pin that Kay always wears. Seems basically irrelevant. Jammin Ninja mask. A mask modeled on the Jammin Ninja's face, made of cheap plastic. Again, doesn't seem relevant to the question of hands, burns, and gloves. Letter Kay was carrying. It's addressed to her. Dear Kay, don't worry. I'll make sure you get your precious thing back, Rosie. Ticket stub. Did this have a fingerprint on? Big building. Viewing platform entry ticket. 0404, 7 to 8 p.m. Student $6. Used limited to day of purchase. Non-refundable. Okay, magenta flower. Magenta flower made of fabric that is usually worn on the chest as a decoration, torn from the victim's clothes. Big building pamphlet contains cross-section of the building and a plan of the viewing platform. This shouldn't be particularly relevant to any of this here. Kay's recollections. Kay remembers a person coming from beyond the concession stand and pushing her off the building. Keycard. A keycard that grants entry to the committee chamber found in the victim's hand. Candelabrum, a 3-armed candle holder that may have been the murder weapon, judging by the wounds to the victim's chest. Were there any fingerprints on this? I think we already clicked everything, and all it was saying is oh, the shape is so unique. I bet it would leave an imprint in dust if it was left somewhere for a long time. And there was blood on the tips of the thing. Autopsy report, we tried presenting that already, so we know it's not that. But death occurred as a result of heavy blow to the head with a circular object, chest wounds inflicted post-mortem. Keycard record of the keycard used to enter the committee chamber. This shows times and names, nothing to do with hands and burns and gloves. Victim's letter, a letter appears to have been written to the victim by Kay. Rosie, thanks so much for agreeing to help with my plan. Now we can both get what we want. Good luck getting your revenge what happened 12 years ago. This implies it might be related to the burn, but it doesn't seem to prove anything. Ringleader's appearance. Ringleader wore a white jacket, white gloves, magenta flower, and mask. Also had a tattoo on the part of their face the mask didn't cover. Here are gloves. Is there a reason that the gloves weren't put on Rosie Ringer's hands? That maybe whoever was dressing up the body wanted the burn to be seen, or maybe it was because she already had blood on one of her hands. Ms. Hart's statement, Ms. Hart observations about what happened during the mysterious auction. Illicit auction held in Big building. Sorry, I'm reading all this a second time. Items on sale were mainly items of police evidence related to homicide cases. 11 attendees altogether, all were wearing masks. Auction continued even after Ringer's murder, but the sound of the auctioneer's hammer could no longer be heard. That was how we knew that the hammer was the murder weapon. Broken plushie, fitted with a recording device to capture part of the conversation. One of the people recorded had a prominent burn. I mean, I guess this shows that the burn was visible. So we could try presenting this to say, hey, she clearly wasn't wearing gloves when she went there. Anything else? Maybe fingerprints? So we'll try presenting this. Maybe that's the whole thing is we say, always wearing gloves. Perhaps it was to hide the burn. It's well, this shows that she wasn't wearing gloves when she showed up. Even though there's also the photo of the hand. Oh my gosh. Let's keep checking everything else. We'll come back. We'll try that next. Masks. A selection of various masks was kept on a rack. Each participant in the auction wore one. Okay. Ms. Hart's picture, a photograph of the mysterious figure in the red raincoat. Again, that shows the hand ungloved. But we tried that already. Elevator blood. Blood was detected on the secret elevator. It looks like it dripped through the floor below. Box in which the killer hit the body. Traces of blood were detected inside. Blood found in the committee chamber was a place there to hide the existence of the storeroom. Red raincoat, we already tried that. even though it had fingerprints. Nurse Needler's statement description of how she swapped places with Rosie Ringer, but it only talks about wigs. And IS7 incident case file. And that's from 18 years ago, not 12. I guess let's try the plush. And this will show that she was very conspicuously not wearing gloves this time.
Objection!
Oh, we got it! I don't know if my logic is right, but that was the right piece of evidence. We got it! I'd be curious to hear what the hint was going to be. So, Ms. Ringer always wore gloves? Except this doesn't help us because we need to prove that she wouldn't wear gloves around Excelsius, that he'd be aware of it. This just proves that the auctioneer didn't see it, right? If she did, that raises a rather important question and highlights quite a contradiction. A contradiction, you say? Really? If we listen again to the conversation that was captured by this stuffed cow, you'll soon see what I mean. I knew it was you the moment I laid eyes on you. You can't hide that burn from me. Is it the fact that he says you can't hide that burn from me to imply that it's more than just on her hand? Have we seen... We know what she looks like. We've seen her face, right? She doesn't seem to have it on her face unless, like, if you pull back that tiny little bit of hair. Can we see her face in the... once again, her hair is covering that little corner. But that'd be a... Wait, hang on. Yeah, that'd be just a tiny little section to cover the burn. Well, let's see where Edgeworth is going with this. Yes, Edgeworth, let's hear what you think. Nothing to say for yourself. I've waited so long for this day, and now I'll finally have my revenge. Skirt. Skirt. Whoop, whoop. Oh, there's a pin message. Pin by Oak, written by Vera, said, the way Logan says big building brings me immeasurable joy. I'm glad you approve of it. And I will read some more chat soon because I'm sure I've gotten way behind because that took so long. We're already almost an hour into stream, and all we've done is present one freaking piece of evidence. I am starting to question whether we will actually get to the end of this case tonight after all because of my mush brain that I have right now, my fudge brain. But thank you for the pin message, and I'll read some more chat soon. We can be reasonably certain that what we just heard is the moment the victim was attacked. Quote, I knew it was you the moment I laid eyes on you. You can't hide that burn from me. We assumed that those were the words of the killer. Oh. And Excelsius is a pyro. Maybe the reason why he grows out his beard, maybe it wasn't a tattoo that Hart saw. Or no, that's not necessarily grows out of the beard, but where's the beard? Maybe it's not a tattoo, maybe it's a burn mark? Yeah, I didn't even think, and that's what, when Lotta Hart said that you could see the tattoo on the bottom half of the face, that's how Rosie recognized him despite his mask as Excelsius, saying you can't hide that from me. It wasn't a tattoo, it was a burn. We assumed that those were the words of the killer. And where's the problem in that? It seems like a perfectly sensible assumption to me. But this has to be a fake beard then, because he can't just like regrow that overnight. I'm afraid not, Chairman Winner. For you see, if the victim was always wearing gloves as you just testified, then the burn mark on her hand should not have been visible to her killer. Pin message. Queen Katie says, please pin lol, not Lotta Hart. The nurse was the one with the tat. Oh, the nurse. Okay, the nurse was the one who said that. Nurse Needler said that. Thank you very much. I got confused. Okay. Oh, there's a prediction. Will Logan finish this case before the 3-hour mark? Yes, he got it. Or 2, we going overtime. Gamble your prediction. Points away. And now that we got some music, let me read some chat. Wow, that cross-examination took a lot longer than I expected. I hope our new friend Jose hasn't gone, oh my gosh, What did I do following this guy? This guy's not good at Ace Attorney. He's awful at Ace Attorney. Quiggy says, I haven't done his DLC enough to give you a good thought, lol. Nora said, sorry, me and Oak were watching One Peak. Vera said, which arc is Nora on? Nora says, Arlong. I've seen that one. Didn't you guys say, because I still haven't seen the live action. Doesn't live action carry Arlong? Yeah, because I think I was asking people, does he still have his, like, weird sharky nose? Crystal says, I just started our life the other day, and I'm in step 4 already. Oak says, Arlong Park. Vera says, thoughts on Nami? Oak said, I thought I found the solution, but it didn't work. Nora said, I love her. Crystal said, who's Nami? Wait. Oh, Crystal said, who's Nami? She's the female pirate of the team. What was that? Oh, Bamanon gifted a sub to Jose! Jose, because I'm so far behind, I don't even know if you're still here. If you are still here, we have an anonymous gifter in our community, Batmanon. 29, that's the number, right? At the end of the username is Batmanon, basically. Who will sometimes gift subs to people, so you now have a sub. So you have access to our bevy of emotes. Not a huge library, but we got some really fun emotes. Our tier 1 emotes. And if you decide to join our Discord, which I can pop the link for that in the chat if you want. Here's a link tree that includes, among other things, the Discord invite link. You have access to our very exclusive Hey Hey channel, where you only say hey hey. Oh yes, you didn't even know you could have a subscriber benefit that amazing. A place where you only say hey hey? Wow, it surely is amazing. So there, thank you so much, Bamanon. Is that my reward for getting through that cross-examination? Thank you very much, Bamanon, and enjoy your sub, Jose. Vera said, heck yeah, from One Piece. Nora said, One Piece. Crystal says, oh. Quiggy said, yeah, it happened to me. I had to download the clips and upload to YouTube by sheer chance. It's a very spoiler clips that I was going to share tonight. Crystal says, the baddie, orange-haired girl. Yes. Hang on. I still got that cough. I'm sorry. Nora said, same English VA as Toko Nanami. Oak says to Crystal, yeah. Nora says, yes. Crystal says, I see. Clam said, yeah, hey, loser, feeling any better? I don't know if you're still here, Clam, but it's so good to see you. And Vera says, you jinxed it. Queen Katie said, last minute fun fact. Okay, that was pinned earlier. Oak said, I was watching last AA VOD, but Nora forced me to watch One Piece with her. Aww. Well, that's okay. You know that Verity Cavell is on our side now. She's had her redemption arc, which is weird, by the way, because I was thinking about this. Usually, because like everything happening in this case feels like what should be the final case of the game. We're fighting someone much more powerful than ourselves, who holds a loved one's freedom and well-being over us. Our rival up to this point through the game is completing a redemption arc. Like, this feels like it should be the last case, the last chapter. So I'm like, what's the next case gonna be? I mean, unless we return to Zhang Fa stuff earlier, which I guess is possible. But I've also been disappointed in the lack of Zhang Fa stuff. Like Lang showed up briefly in a cameo in the second case in the prison, right? And then that was it. I was hoping we'd see more of Lang, but I guess it was just like a little cameo. It's like, hey, it's the guy from the last game. But we didn't do stuff with him. We did very little with Zhang Fa, so I don't know. We shall see, though. Let's see. Vera said, sorry, Katie. Modding from mobile. Quiggy said, okay, Vero, he'll find it later. Oak said, apparently, I was only 1 minute away from getting to the Gavel moment. Aww. Quiggy said, you just relax, okay, to Vero? Oak said, I said if I was confused during stream, it's Nora's fault, so blame her. You hear that, Nora? Oak's comprehension is on you. Quiggy said, see, Crystal got it. Vera said, yeah, I'm taking it easy. Yeah, for those who didn't see on Discord, Vero's back is acting up again, so we should all wish Vero that your back gets better. Oak said, what happened? And Crystal said, we're trying to commit arson. Vera says, dang. And Crystal says, arson. And then lights the chat on fire. Oh, there's a bunch of stuff going on in YouTube. Sir Bacon says, rah, I am not dead. Pyro Team Fortress 2. Welcome, Sir Bacon. How you doing? Dermo says, Logan reads, big building like Porky Pig. I do love Looney Tunes. Love me some Daffy Duck. I still gotta watch The Day the Earth Blew Up. But I'll take it. Derma says, hi, Bacon. Opinion says, oh, I totally forgot. Edgeworth reaches the burn mark conclusion immediately. Yeah, no, I didn't even make this logical jump. But I like it. This definitely is, it is a turnabout. It is changing our way of thinking in a way I wouldn't have even thought about. Sir Bacon says, hi. He's bald. I think, okay, I said before, There was at one time he accidentally lit his beard on fire and immediately put it out. And I said, I think he's going to do that again when he has his breakdown. And everything's going to go up and he's going to be bald and just singed. But now I think he's also going to have a massive burn. For a while I was thinking it was going to be a Prosecutor Mark tattoo. Unless maybe it'll be one of those things where it's like you have a burn and you get a tattoo to cover up the burn. But if he had no facial hair the night before when the murder took place, that means that everything he has to be like fake, right? So there's gonna be more. Maybe the breakdown will also include like the beard getting pulled off. Maybe that's it. Maybe it'll light on fire, and then he pulls it off to set it out, or to put it out, to stomp it out. So maybe that's what it'll be. So it won't like engulf his whole face. It'll just be like, oh, my beard's on fire. Yank. Whoops. Now you can see my incriminating burns. So maybe that's what it'll be. I don't know. Sir Bacon says hi. He's bald. Dermot said, I love the foreshadowing of him constantly messing with his lighter, and yet nobody seems to put two and two together that he'd probably have a few burns. Yeah, no, that went right over my head. I should have thought about this, but this game always has everybody with such weird obsessions. But no, that makes perfect sense. Sir Bacon says, royal pair kissing. And then, what are those? What are those that are kissing? I can't even tell what that emote is. Says, Logan, I did the crime. I stole the cookie. I'm evil guy. Well, then make cookies or buy some cookies and give to the person you stole cookies from. So the next case is a murder of PETA. Says, I'm good. Warner Brothers is killing Looney Tunes. They seem to be trying to do it, but it's a studio. Is it the same studio that did The Day the Earth Blew Up? I guess it's going to finally release Coyote versus Acme. I just hope it lives up to the hype, because at this point, if it doesn't, a lot of people online are going to feel kind of silly. I'll read just a couple more comments on Twitch. Queen Katie says, salute Crystal, thank you, thank you. Crystal says, you're welcome. I'm going to try to figure out how to draw Cove's hair. Veer said, isn't it a middle part? His hair, I mean. Crystal said, specifically long-haired, loose bun Cove. And Vera says, aw, fair. Queen Katie said, nah, Logan, if it wasn't for you playing Ghost Trick, I wouldn't be here watching. Oh, that's right, that was when you started watching. And it's like, it feels like forever because you've just become such an ingrained part of the community. You're like a load-bearing community member. And Vera said, Katie equals 100 viewers. And Oak said, Queen Katie, yes, because Logan sucks and is boring in every game other than Ghost Trick. That is probably fair. Okay, hang on. Just had another minor coughing fit. I am so sorry that I've been sick so much this year. I hope to get better soon. Then the burn mark on her hand should not have been visible to her killer.
Objection.
Objection. You speak as if gloves can't easily be removed. See, this is what I'm saying. This doesn't prove that she did. Okay, but anyway. But I like where Edgeworth is going. I think he's on to something.
She could have taken them off during the auction.
Oh, that's perfectly reasonable, come to think of it. But she hadn't. She was still wearing them when I changed places with her. Oh, that's right, we have witnesses we can ask. Thank you, Needler. Thank you. So they must have been on her hands when she was being murdered, too. But they came off at some point because at one point she had blood on her hands. Oh, mate, you know what it probably was? She probably had one of those dramatic moments where I recognize you with that burn mark. You don't know who I am? Well, instead of taking off my mask, I'll take off the glove. Burn mark, look, ah! So, oh my gosh, ring around the rosies, pocket full of posies, ashes, ashes, we all fall down. He probably is responsible for a fire 12 years ago that gave her the burn but probably killed somebody. That's probably part of the pun in her name. Ring, because Rosie Ringer, ring around the rosies, pocket full of posies, ashes, ashes. We all fall down. I think I mentioned the burn mark before, but yeah, so he probably, whether it was like, he's a bad guy, so it's probably not gonna be whoops, accidental. He probably intentionally set a fire that killed somebody that she knew and probably loved and gave her that burn and maybe also gave him his burn? Perhaps? So they must have been on her hands when she was being murdered too.
What are you saying, my dear? You do know how much trouble you're in, don't you?
I love it in these games where the bad guy, like, obviously threatens a witness in front of everybody. And we just let it roll. I'm not scared of you anymore. I have Grandma on my side now. Whisper. Now it's time for you to pay the piper winner, you dang devil!
I see. So you're both looking to disappear too. That can be arranged.
The rest of the committee for prosecutorial excellence is still here, right? He just threatened to kill 2 people! He threatened to kill 2 people if they don't perjure themselves to his benefit. Not this time, Excelsius winner! The only person disappearing will be you! Objection! Hey, no! You can't talk to my dad like that! Who cares if the burn was covered up? Why does that even matter? Oh, it matters. Because it turns our understanding of the burn mark on its head. Oh, and this makes me think of that man. Oh. Whoa, what do you mean? Oh, crap. What can the fact the victim's burn mark was covered up possibly? Okay, good. The save button is still here. Let's save, and I'll read a few comments in the chat while we decide which we're gonna click here. And wow, the prediction is still available for people to vote and gamble your points away, by the way. The murderer had a burn mark too. Okay, obviously that, yeah. The victim didn't have a burn mark. There were no burn marks. No burn marks at all. Okay, so yeah, okay, never mind, this is easy. The murderer had a burn mark. But let me read some more comments in the chat. Crystal says to Vero, I wanted to be perfect because our boy is perfect with long hair. Broken heart. Quiggity said, just realized you said this, Crystal. Wow, you just sped through that, huh? I assume without DLC, though. Wait, Crystal, all of the DLC for the game, at least consider the wedding DLC, lol. Ooh, there's wedding DLC? They were like all young little kids when you were playing. Like they grew up all the way. Crystal says, also, do you guys have any visual novel suggestions similar to Our Life? I am getting the wedding DLC. Quiggity says, nice. Crystal says, I'm saving money for it. Bubble says, honestly, not worth it. The sweets weren't amazing enough to justify the stomach ache. I'm sorry. We need to get you better sweets, Bumbo. Quiggity says, add quote, I don't alcohol. My parents taught me it's bad to alcohol and vehicle. Oh, and I just got to where Jose came in the chat saying, yes, I just changed to Twitch. Again, welcome, Jose. I don't know if I hope you're still here to see that I finally reached where you joined the chat. Now you see how far behind I'm getting and why Twitch chat gets set to slow mode. Veer said, I would nonchalantly jump off a bridge if my friends jump nonchalantly. That's bad. Vero, we should peer pressure Vero to not jump off a bridge. Oak said, yes, I would jump off a bridge because they brought safety gear nonchalantly. Well, how do you know? How do you know? Veer said, I, however, am not a good example. Crystal says, oh, they jumped. Okay, jumps. Y'all are given into peer pressure much too easily. Tiff said, I've got a bunch of water too, so I'm good. I know how to responsible. Okay, good. We're just watching out for you, Tiff. Just making sure. Veer said, responsible Tiff. Crystal says, I have a bucket of water anyway. I would water clutch the jump Minecraft logic. Quiggity said, meanwhile, I'm the one who panics and calls emergency if something happens with sopping wet eyes like a puppy. Hope I never have to do that someday. Oak said, stabs Logan in front of all the guards because they weren't expecting it. No, Oak, why? Don't stab me. That's how my blood gets out. I need that. Crystal says, eh? And Vera said, Logan is wearing a bulletproof vest. Is it stab proof? Vera says, too bad, Oak. Okay, let me take a look over at YouTube. And, oh, there's a bunch more stuff here, too. Sir Bacon says, I stole your cookies. I will stay loyal to YouTube chat. Dang, was it mine? Well, I forgive you, Sir Bacon. Dermot says, she threw the glove in old duel fashion. And then found a rival like in Persona 5 and gave him the glove! Thank you, Oak, for the Tomcat. I'm just gonna read these couple of YouTube chats and then we'll play some game. I promise. I promise. Sir Bacon says, corrupt nature, typed weird. A pity says, winner 100% killed his wife, right? Oh, no, yes, but we don't tell Eustace that. We tell Eustace she left to go get milk. And then one day Eustace will learn in biology that women make milk. And he'll be like, why didn't she just make milk? And then Excelsius is going to be like, okay, look, even though women make milk, they can't necessarily like use that milk for like breakfast, put on cereal. We got to get cow's milk. And then Eustace will go, wait, milk comes from cows? And then Excelsius will be like, yes, why do you think there's a picture of a cow on the carton? And Excelsius thought, it's like, that doesn't mean anything. Trix cereal has a picture of a rabbit. I don't assume that Trix comes out of rabbits. And Excelsius says, okay, that's actually decent logic. Gold star on your forehead for that. But you should know that milk comes from cows. And Eustace says, I feel like this is really a failing on your part as a parent. You homeschooled me and never taught me that. And then Excelsius says, well, to be fair, it's not part of the curriculum. I did cover the curriculum. I think that just assumes the kids already know some stuff outside of it. That's what happens. Anyway, let me read a couple more comments.
The strawberry milk comes from pink cows.
See, it's a common misconception. No. Strawberry milk doesn't come from pink cows, just as chocolate milk doesn't come from brown cows. Strawberry milk comes from strawberry cows. That's where if you find a cow made of strawberries, and there'll be little strawberries dangling in his udders, and you squeeze those, and that's where strawberry milk comes out of. That's science. That's basic stuff. But thank you very much, Vera, for the 10 bits. I do appreciate that. But yes, opinion. Yeah, he 100% totally killed his wife. Sir Bacon says he has water goggles. Oh, he's threatening to kill 2 people. That's right, it's his tears. So if he doesn't cry enough, he won't be able to put out the fire next time. Dermot says, oh yeah, probably burned the body as well. Oh. And that's what he probably did to the hammer to dispose of that. He burned it. I mean, they always burn stuff, but he especially burned stuff. And Sir Bacon says, royal pair kissing. Veru and Twitch. Oh, to say Vero and Twitch don't jump, or at least do a flip. Well, I guess that's cool. If you're going to jump off a bridge, do a flip. Do a sick flip. Sir Bacon says, shoots Twitch chat. No! Dermot said, make sure it's a bungee cord and not just a rope. Been fooled by that many times. Sir Bacon says, eggs come from eggs. Does mint milk come from mint cows? Yes, now you get it. Oat milk comes from oat cows, and almond milk I prefer not to think about because that seems gross to me. Okay, hang on. I got to read just a couple more quick comments in the Twitch chat, though, because I am so far behind. Oak said to Vero, it's a good thing I used a knife, not a bullet. See what I'm saying? Quickgator said, I have a guide if needed, but I have faith in you, Sir Logan. I'm so happy that I eventually got that right. I mean, your faith wavered, I assume, but it was paid off. Vera said, a naive-proof vest is under that. Oak says, good thing I aimed for the face. And Jose says, what would you consider your favorite or best case of the Ace Attorney franchise? That's tough to say because, like, I think at this point, the more I think about it, Dual Destinies may be my favorite game so far that we've played, with Investigations 1 in close second. Mainly just because of Fulbright and that whole thing. But that final case destroyed me. Like, the moment I figured it out, which was before we entered, like, the final trial day or anything like that, I was just... It broke me. It broke me. But it was so good, though. And it was so well thought out, too. Ugh. But I also have a soft spot for the very first Steel Samurai case, because that brought us the Steel Samurai, that brought us Penny Nichols. Unfortunately, it also brought us Wendy Old Bag. So, yeah. I guess Cosmic Turnabout, maybe? That also had Ponko, who was delightful. Okay, anyway. I hope that Jose is still here to see that I'm finally getting to your messages. But let's play a little bit more. So it's the murderer had a burn mark too. Shrug. No, shake my head. Think about it like this, Mr. Winner. Oh, I know what it was. Instead, you're thinking about it like this, because you're stupid. Eustace. The victim was wearing gloves, therefore the burn mark on her hand would not have been visible. In which case, whose burn mark was it that was being referenced in the recording? Somebody who I wasn't the victim. He did good. Edgeworth, give him a cookie. Precisely. Yeah. Have a Eustace snack. Which can only mean that the culprit had a prominent burn mark too. Or, to put it another way, quote, I knew it was you the moment I laid eyes on you. You can't hide that burn from me. Those words were spoken not by the murderer, but by the victim. So maybe Rosie Ringer knows that he's wearing a fake beard And when the two of them got up there, what happened was, what we hear in the recording is her grabbing the beard, yanking it off, and going, haha, you can't hide it from me. Because when was it that Nurse Needler saw... Because it wouldn't have been until after that, because Needler is still in the crate at that point, hiding. It wasn't until after he smashed his gavel over Rosie Ringer's head that he opened it up to pull her out, correct? Right, I think? If I remember correctly. No way. Oh. Objection. Don't play with fire, bro. You're gonna regret it.
Eustace, my boy, would you mind stepping aside for a sec? Look, Miles. It's nice to see you having fun with your little flight of fancy. But let's get serious. Don't make me look bad in front of my boy. Send him away, then we can talk about this, and then when he comes back, we tell him that I'm a good man. Do you understand? So the murderer had a burn mark now? Really? Where? Your little theory will either take flight or die, depending on your answer here, I'm afraid.
What if the hair is real, but it's not coming out of his face? Maybe it's just growing out on his head and he like uses spear gum to glue it to his chin?
He's not messing around. I have to figure out where that burn mark was, and fast.
Let's also save again, just because it's a good idea to do that periodically, even when we're not right before a big important question where hit points are on the line. And it's gonna be his face. It's gonna be wherever Needler saw the tattoo, yeah? I wonder where it could have been. All the auction people were wearing disguises, right?
Yes, and each disguise was different. Yet, in spite of that, the burn mark was visible to the victim somehow, which means... Well, shall we? Enlighten us, why don't you? Where was the murderer's burn mark? I assume you have some evidence.
So where is it that Needler said that? No, because this only mentions the wigs. Was the other wig not for Kay? Maybe it was for Excelsius?
You're a goner. Those are clearly the words of the murderer, not the victim. You're a goner. Hi, you a coner. Hu O'Connor. Hugh O'Connor. Bugo Honor. Buano.
No! Hugh O'Connor turned into a boo! I was delighted with where it was going at first, but then it turned around! Thank you very much for the 10 bits, Oak. I appreciate that. Thank you. Okay, so, like I was saying, I was assuming that the wavy hair wig was for Kay's hair, and that's why we've been seeing Kay with her hair down ever since she's been in the hospital gown. Because the whole thing that Needler says was they realized that somebody was coming to, like, disrupt the auction, but they weren't sure who, or maybe she didn't even say that. I had thought up to this point, maybe they realized it was Rosie Ringer and Kay, as they got wigs to mimic both their hairstyles, so that they could, whoever it was that impersonated someone in the auction, they'd be able to have Nurse Needler impersonate for the rest of the auction after the murder. But maybe the wavy hair was never for Kay. Maybe the wavy hair was for Excelsius. And that's what it is. That's why it's a wig now. But that's beside the point. We need to figure out where it was that Needler said that she was able to see the tattoo. It wasn't this, because this, just talks about...
Granter of your desires, but not the sex kind.
Oh, that was the first time we met Tanaka! That was a very short clip. That was when I tried to sing that thing, because I didn't know how it went. The granter of your desires, but not the sex kind. Also, before I had a good microphone. Thank you for the Logan Clip Roulette. I'm glad that wasn't a spoiler thing. That was before I knew the glory of President Tanaka. Okay, so hang on. We got to figure this out. We might be able to present this to be able to say that, okay, well, the other wig was for that, therefore it was on the head. But where was it that Rosie Ringer said... Does she have, like, a statement by Rosie Ringer? No, that's Ms. Hart's statement, and we said that that was not... Yeah. Where, like, we saw the mask. That should be in our court record, right? Did we save? Let's save. Oh, no, we can't save. We can't save, but I did save just a little bit before this, so it's good. So if we mess up, we'll be able to come back. I'm going to assume it's going to be Nurse Needler's statement about the wigs, and that Edgeworth is just going to put the remaining missing pieces together. But let's see if anything else more directly mentions that Nurse Needler said she saw a tattoo on the face. Okay? Details murder case from 18 years ago. That seems to only be related to showing that Hilda Hertz had falsified the autopsy for Artie Frost, and that's either why she was under Excelsius's thumb or what, but something bad. Okay. Red raincoat worn by the victim's fingerprints or blood were found on the hood. Committee chamber blood, closed box, elevator blood, Ms. Hart's picture, the masks. I mean, I guess we could theoretically present this as a piece of evidence to say that look at the ringleader's mask didn't cover the bottom chunk of his face. Broken plush, Ms. Hart's statement, ringleader's appearance, white jacket, white gloves. Oh, there we go. Also had a tattoo on the part of the face the mask didn't cover. There it is. So that's what was updated when Nurse Needler said this. That's what we present. Got it! Here is my evidence. The outfit the ringleader was wearing throughout the auction, or rather, the outfit you were wearing, Chairman Winner! And what exactly is that supposed to tell us,
Objection!
A suit, white gloves, and a mask. This disguise should have covered almost all of your skin. But according to Nurse Needler's testimony... Oh crap, I pressed the wrong button there. The auctioneer's mask didn't quite cover your entire face. And not only that, she claims to have seen a tattoo on the part that was exposed. But it wasn't a tattoo, it was a burn. But was it a tattoo? Or did she simply mistake a burn mark for one? Oh... A burn mark on the face. Okay, Eustace, here's your chance to do a smart. You can say that your daddy has a beard and you can't see the bottom part of his face. Because that's what you should say. And then the obvious thing is like, look, it's fake, yoink, fake beard. It's gonna be the wavy-haired wig, right? Objection. Sorry to interrupt while you're so clearly enjoying yourself, dear boy. But okay, but then does that mean he usually looks like this and he shaved specifically for the auction? But then, if the wavy wig is for him, why would he have brought it there? Maybe I'm wrong about that. Maybe it was for Kay. But I regret to inform you that none of the committee members has such a burn. Myself included, of course. But Dad, Daddy, you do have a burn. You're not gonna make me lie? Does this mean Eustace has seen the burn? And Eustace... I think, you know what that means? That means that Eustace, I mean, as dumb as he is, he's not brain dead dumb, you know? Do you guys think that this is the moment Eustace is realizing his dad is a murderer? Because he idolizes his dad. I actually feel bad for him. This is gonna crush him. We should have sent him away like Excelsius was saying. He's a dumb little weirdo, but I don't want him to be crushed. Eustace, do you think you can be quiet, please? You can be foolish on your own time later. Oh. Huh, what?
Hey, I hate to break up this important moment, but my partner thinks you look like a coyote. Boo.
Ah! What? No, I am totally not a coyote impersonating a person. I am not a coyote. Okay, chat, real talk, chat. I don't know what to do. I am actually a coyote impersonating a human, and this is the first time anybody has figured it out. Chat, what do I do? Help me, chat. You're in on my secret now. Yeah, I'm not. That is not the case, Oak. But thank you very much for the 10 bits. I appreciate that. Let me read a couple more comments in the chat, though. Nora said, does anyone know how to make an IG account private? I assume somewhere in the settings? I actually don't use Instagram very much these days, so I'm not entirely sure. Oak says, Eustace, no, don't F your soggy dad? Wait, did it sound like he was going to? Let's see. Oak says, oh, excuse me. Vera says, I love you, Fred. Wait. Oh, there we go from the quote that was right before quote 555 for my name's Frederick. There we go. Oak said, it was the portly man. I forgot about him. Oak says to Tiff, if you're still here, you should check your Twitch whispers. And a timestamp 3333. I am an hour behind. How am I an hour behind in the chat? That is not good. Magpie says, yes, 4 Loco killed people because it had both alcohol and caffeine. While it does mean you can drink longer without passing out, that doesn't make the alcohol less toxic. Oh, so people wouldn't feel it because the caffeine, and then they'd have alcohol poisoning. Oh, that makes sense. So yes, just make sure you're safe, Tiff. Vera says, are we sure Excelsius isn't Eustace's mom? Maybe. I'm in the beard's fake, so who knows? Oak said, big building, how I love you. Crystal says, a naive proof-ass Logan. That's what it said. That's what it said, Crystal. Crystal says, I meant to at Vero, not Logan. Nora said, sorry, chat, I'm lurking. Well, thank you for the lurk, Nora. Nora says, Instagramming. Vera said, he might clutch this. Jose says, I have faith in him. He will crack the case in no time. It took time. As you can see, because I'm so far behind, it took a lot of time. But I eventually got there. Tiff says to Oak responded. Quickgator said, Crystal, hey, can you help me figure out a hint just in case Logan asks? Quickgator said, we can do it via whispers. Oak said to Tiff, oh crap, I need to do 2 now. Tiff says to Oak, whoops. Quickgator says, wait, no. Tiff, maybe you can help me think of a hint. I have one, but I don't know if it's good, lol. Oh yeah, because I never found what the hint was going to be. Tiff said to Quinkady, yeah, either whisper or DM me. Oak says to Tiff, that no, this is perfect. Quinkady said, just yell for a good potato hint anytime. Tiff, help me think of a good one. Nora said, wheezing so hard. Oak said, Tiff wrote that, I drunkified it. Oh, the beef long at TTS. Quinkady said, please pin my message if y'all can. Crystal said, sorry, it was away. Yeah, sure. Nora said, lunchy. Ugh, it was Logan. Tiff says, uncrustable. And then yum. Quickgator said, Tiff, help me out. You can pin my message earlier, though, about how Logan can ask for a potato hint. Oak said, Vero, help me with the idea for that one. Oak says, ad quote, don't let your new wife see the salmon, because even dead, they are sexy, sexy fish. Let me look over at YouTube real quick. Oh, there's a bunch more going on YouTube. I'm behind everywhere. Sir Bacon says, almond cows. Hidden Head, how you doing? Says hi again. I have been just enjoying my summer break. Well, good to have you back, Hidden Hand. I hope you've been enjoying it very well. It's summer break, you got to enjoy that. Good to see you. Sir Bacon says, I think I am the most popular YouTube chatter in this stream. Hidden Hand says, how many subs do you have, Sir Bacon? Sir Bacon says, 4. Valtube said, Eustace deserves that cookie. Hidden Hand says, I have more subs. Sorry, not bragging law. Put the fire away. You're going to burn the place. Burn. Sir Bacon said, Mr. Winner can't get a cookie because I stole them all. Valtube with some fire. German said, where could I have a Burns beard? Hidden Hand said, I know, it's so obvious. But again, read some more. Hidden Hand said, why do you steal them? Hey, Oak from Twitch. Dermot says, I don't have any subs, but the few clips I've made, mostly Logan, have been views. Mainly just made them for my own memory. Oh, I keep forgetting that you can do clips on YouTube. I should check out. Wait, no, except they might sometimes be spoiler clips, so I shouldn't. But thank you for making clips. Sir Bacon says, I'm turning into a train. Train noise. Dermot says, I like trains. Hidden Hand said, I almost have enough subs to stream. Gets run over by a train. Sir Bacon says, I gotta go. Bye. Good night, Sir Bacon. Thank you for being here. Hidden Hand says, bye-bye bacon. Dermot said, bye bacon, stay crispy. Valtube says, bye bacon. Hidden Hand says, my favorite OST playing right now. Opinion says, the moment I've been waiting forever for. Okay, so does that mean I need to play some game? I should play some game, even though I'm an hour behind. I should play some game. I'm gonna try to get caught up. I am so sorry. I'm so sorry. I should not get this far behind. I've been so much better recently about this, but let's go. Let's go. Oh crap, we're back to this. Eustace is gonna break him. He's gonna be so sad. Well, you may be an annoyance most of the time, Mr. Winner. I'm assuming he's talking about Eustace right now. Please tell me that Edgeworth does feel bad for him. Because Edgeworth has kind of been in this situation before with Manfred von Karma, right? But on this particular occasion, I'm grateful for your presence. Oh, the fact that he knows about the burn. A reaction like that from you, his son, is as good an indicator of the truth as I could have hoped for. Also, I gotta say, I'm glad that Edgeworth is noticing this. Because so much of the time, there's obvious stuff like this in these games. You know? And people just be like, I didn't notice this. Well, it's mostly the judge. It's mostly judgy. But I like this, that he picked up on that. Edgeworth is smart. And it gives me a much-needed confidence boost concerning another theory of mine. Namely, who that one unexplained item belongs to. It's gotta be the wavy wig, right? Oh, and you know what? I bet it's not even a wig on, like, the top of it. It's probably just a beard wig, and Needler just saw the wavy hair and thought it was, like, a top-of-the-head wig. Yeah? What's the matter with Mr. Winner? I think he might be in shock. After all, he's usually the last to figure things out. But he's figured it out this time. And I do feel bad for him. When we first met him, he was so obnoxious, I didn't think I'd feel bad for him. But over the course of the game, I've really found him endearing. He's like just a dumb little puppy. He thinks he's great. You know what it is? You know what it is? I figured it out, why he's endearing. My cat is adorable. She's so freaking cute, and she's the biggest wimp. She's the biggest scaredy cat. But when she gets into play mode and wants to like play, she acts like she's so ferocious. And she's so confident. Like, you know, those who have cats, you ever have where like your cat is stalking you? Like thinks that you don't see her and sneaking up on you, then runs up and like, and then pounces, then kind of runs away or whatever. It's like, I love seeing her that confident and that thinking that like, I'm a ferocious predator, because she's not. That's Eustace. He is harmless. He is inept. But he thinks he's so good at it. And it's kind of adorable. I think that's why he's endearing. But in this case, he seems to have gotten there all too quickly. He knows that his father is indeed the real murderer. This is kind of breaking my heart a little. He's sad because he knows the truth. And so Kay, I guess, is now realizing that sometimes people don't want to know the truth, that the truth makes them sad. But then she's got to realize later that you're better off genuinely being sad than not, right? You're better off knowing the truth, even if it's a hard truth to accept. So, it's better not to know the truth at all? See, it's like I just said. No, Kay. It's what we came here for. Quote, it doesn't matter how we get there. The important thing is finding the truth, end quote. You yourself told me that once, right when I needed to hear it the most. And now it's time for me to repay the favor and show you the truth of your innocence. Are we gonna have a breakdown? I want to know too, the truth of what really happened. So please, Mr. Edgeworth, won't you show me? Smile, I'm happy now. Yeah. I very much intend to.
Oh, you don't know when to give up, do you? Where is this burn, then? Perhaps you could point it out to me. But you can't, can you? Because it's nowhere to be found. Just like your evidence that I'm the killer.
Yeah. Hunt for contradictions all you like. You won't find any. Oh, I feel so dead inside right now. Is this what being an adult is like? Because he's my dad. And a winner through and through.
Objection!
I understand, Mr. Winner, and I completely understand why you don't want to believe it's true. But if you ignore the truth now, you'll regret it for as long as you live. Okay, so that's what Edgeworth is doing. He's trying to coax it out of Eustace to tell us where the burn is. Oh, Dad, what do I do?
Sigh. I just don't understand it. How could I have raised such an utter buffoon? If you really wish to help your father, Eustace, you can try thinking on your own for once in your life, you useless nitwit!
Oh, but I try all the time, Dad. All I do is try. I went to the school you wanted me to go to. I aced every test. Oh crap, what do you want to bet he failed the tests and like Excelsius like blackmailed the teachers to give him good grades? Look at my jacket. They only give these to the valedictorian. I did everything you told me to. I worked like crazy and I graduated top of my class. I tried to be just like you and win as many trophies as I could.
Objection.
You really are just a simpering simpleton, aren't you?
Oh!
Those tests you aced?
Oh, see, crap. Oh no, this is gonna ruin Eustace. No! Oh, I don't like this. I don't like this anymore. I mean, I know he needs to be taken down a peg and he needs to know the truth eventually, but I feel bad for the poor kid.
Those tests you aced? I had the school give you perfect scores on all of them. Those debate and speech competitions you won, the judges were all friends of mine. If you never even realized that much, there's no hope for you, I'm afraid. None at all.
I see there's a pin message. I'm sorry, but I'm so caught up in the moment. I will check it in a little bit. I gotta see where this is going.
You're no son of mine. Even you must see that.
That is like the worst thing he could have said to him. Oh! Ah! Was he gonna run off cry? Oh, he actually did! He has, oh no! No, Eustace! That was so sad. Also, I gotta check the foot. It looked like the bottom of Gavel's sprite was in front of Nurse Needler's, even though she was in front of her. I gotta double check and see if that was right. I feel genuinely bad for him right now.
Oh, Sniffle, gone, my own son. They all leave in the end.
The problem is that within the reality of this scene, unless we get him convicted, which obviously is going to happen, but the stakes are that if we don't, he's going to have Eustace disappear, right? Because he's a liability now.
Oh, I mean, oh, boo! Even when he was trying, he was failing. And he did it all for me? Then he should have tried harder!
You're a disgrace! You don't deserve to be a father, and you certainly don't deserve to be a chairman of this committee! You know what, Edgeworth? Just tell him to, like, take an elevator ride. That happens to fathers sometimes. Hang on, I gotta cough a little bit. It's this cold, I'm sorry. Let me have a sip of water and let's read some chat. All right, there's a pin message here. Looks like it's another name fact about Excelsius. Blaze, Excelsius's fan name, is the name of a mathematician who is a child prodigy. I didn't know any of this. And who was a child prodigy and wrote work as a teenager that it was such a level that Descartes believed it was written by his father. How have I never heard of this guy before? This could be seen as an ironic inversion of Blaise de Best's relationship with his son, who is falsely touted as a prodigy due to Blaise's influences and manipulations. Oh, okay, that adds an extra point to the fan name then. Up to this point, I thought Blaise was a little bit too on the nose with the fire stuff. But that's actually really good. You know what? I think that takes it over. Up to this point, I was thinking Excelsius was a little bit of a better name because it's like it sounds exalted and has Celsius in the name, so it's like a hidden little reference to fire and temperature and stuff like that. But no, Blaze. That is good. Holy cow, that is good. Let me read some more comments in the chat now. Let's see. Oh, another pin message says, finally, and perhaps unintentionally, Blaise is also the name of a saint who was a bishop in Sebastia, modern day Sivas, Turkey? I don't know how to say that name. Sebastian means someone from Sebastia, thereby linking the names of Blaze and Sebastian de Best. Oh, that is neat. Holy cow, those are really good fan names. All right, yeah, that I am on board with these now. Okay, but I do need to read some chat here. Let's see. Oak says Vero helped with the idea for that. Oh, I read that. Quickita said, Logan, I have a hint if you need. Please pin. Oak said I asked for a tip to write a drunk message from Beef because they're vaguely drunk and I needed authenticity. Oak said, that's actually pretty clever, Oak. Oak says, and I asked Vero for help drafting a message from Beef that would like him sending a voicemail drunk if he would regret the next morning. So he cried to his dad after getting a drunk driving incident and accidentally confessed to killing his ex-wife, Salmon. Jose says, finally, the message is pinned. I'm sorry it took a while, Jose, but thank you again for the follow. I hope you haven't regretted it. I normally don't get quite this far behind. Today's a bit exceptional, but it happens on occasion. Vera said, yep, sorry, went over to the PC for a sec. The PC for this. Quickita said, thank you, Vero. Salute. Oak says, yeah, Logan, take a hint. Crystal said, adds the quote. Tiff said, so close to 600 quotes. Crystal says, 4 more. Oak said, the way Logan says big building brings me immeasurable joy. Vera said, Hall of Fame. He got it. Quickita said, Logan really presented the right item for the wrong reason. Vera says, clutch. Tiff says, yeah. I mean, that isn't the first time it's happened. When you take enough stabs in the dark, one of them's bound to be right, even if it's for the wrong reason. Jose said, got it. Oak said, great Logan. Quickita said, Logan about to feel a tiny bit dumb here. Yeah, I did. Vera said, it's okay, it happens a lot. Quickita said, Logan's in love with Rosie's burn so bad he can't stop thinking about it. Well, I didn't know there were multiple burn marks. Huh?
Fun fact, that Uncrustable story was a real story. I went to get an Uncrustable because I forgot I had a Whopper.
So that you know what? That gives it a sense of authenticity. I love the fact that it was so detailed that it was about an Uncrustable. I've mentioned this before, when you're doing like improvisational stuff like that, always add little details. Like if you say, I was taking my dog for a walk, that doesn't say nearly as much about your character as if you were to say, I was taking my Labradoodle for a walk, or, I was taking my Doberman for a walk. That adds character.
Also, you're right, I clipped it and Gaval's skirt was in front of Needler's face for some reason.
I was right, because I looked at it, it happened so quickly I didn't really have time to verify. It just looked like the bottom of her sprite was in front of Needler. Hey, thank you, Vero. Not super vindicated because I didn't really have a lot writing on this, but I feel good that I noticed a thing. So thank you very much, both Tiff and Vero, for the 10 bits each. I appreciate that. Also, I should read some more on YouTube because YouTube chat I'm also behind on, although not quite as much as on Twitch chat. Let's see. Hidden Hand says, high opinion. Dorma says, so weird hearing it remastered. I'm so used to being really compressed. Valtube says, poor Eustace. Oh, crap. There we go. Hidden Hand says, boo. FNAF jump scare, go. Hey, at least you're not behind on YouTube. Derma said, yeah, he couldn't change that. Hidden Hand says, no. Derma said, yeah, I'm not that cruel. Hidden Hand says, bro, my For You page is just like someone gets sued for like $1 million or something. For You pages are so tough to keep. The algorithm is so weird what it thinks you like sometimes. Hidden Hand says, cat. Jose says, came back to YouTube. He's so far behind on Twitch. It's so funny. I'm sorry, Jose. Thank you for your patience. Hidden Hand says, hi, Crystal. Crystal says, that's just posting a lot of the information there. Thank you, Crystal. Hidden Hand says, hey, Logan, do you want some fries? I got some. Take some if you want some. I would, except that they'll probably make me even more thirsty, and I'm limited on water. But thank you for your generosity. Hidden Hand, I appreciate that. That actually reminds me, I had a weird dream last night. I went to a convention, like a San Diego Comic-Con type convention, and the Hasbro booth with the Transformers, their whole thing they set up for some reason was they had a deal with Wendy's, and if you got a Transformer, you got a free Frosty and some fries to dunk in the Frosty. And apparently they're like, yeah, we tried to get Marvel to do it, and Marvel wouldn't do it, and Wendy's like, yeah, Marvel wouldn't do it, so we got Hasbro, and they did it. And Marvel thought it was cheap, and then everybody loved it, because, like, why would you not love just a free little Frosty? And it had little gummy bears that looked like robots. It was good. Derma says, what type of fries? Thin or thick? It matters a lot. Hidden Hand says both. Crystal says, is it soggy fries? Hidden Hand says, but also thin. Crystal says, I want crunchy ones. Hidden Hand says, microphone. Crystal says, we singing on a microphone? Opinion says, Eustace. Crystal said, kill Mr. Winner. We singing? Bet. Derma says, oh gosh, this part. Crystal says, shouts gibberish. Hidden Hand said, Crystal, as soon as you said that, thunder went down. Hidden Hand says, they kill Mr. Winner. Derma says, he needs to be taken down a peg, not 100. I know, that was a lot. I hope we see a lot of Eustace in the next case, and the next case is like helping him find something he's good at after all this. Because like, yeah, he's been an awful prosecutor, but I feel for him. Opinion says, it's Excelsius's fault. It's his fault Eustace never had a chance to learn because he was never told he was wrong, and yet Excelsius still blames Eustace for it, but it's all his fault. No, I agree. This, even more than the whole murder thing, makes me hate Excelsius. It's awful. Hidden Hand says, is he adopted? Opinion says, Eustace, my poor girl, my poor everything, I need to hug her. Hidden Hand says, boy, oh wait. Opinion says, not in a few years, they won't be. Dermot says, Ace Attorney is just mentor issues, the game. Crystal says, Thunder, like Epic, Thunderbringer. Okay, I need to read some more Twitch. I am behind on both now. So Jose, the changeover might not have helped that much. Let's see, Vera said, oh, Logan. She was covering her face, probably. Quinqueta said, by the way, apparently my hint was useless anyway because I misremembered wrong. Lol. He figures it out. Jose said, now he gets it finally. Quinqueta said, please pin lol. Not a lot of heart. Nurse Needler was the one with the tattoo testimony. Lol. Just spent a lot of money being on the prediction, says Oak. Magpie says, tempted to put a whole bunch of money in the no pile just so y'all earn something lol. Oak says, do it. Bumba says, I have trauma, even though I feel like Logan is 100% going to finish before. I am not risking it. Well, we got over an hour. I think we can still make it to the end of this case by tonight. Magpie says, all right, bet lol. Crystal says, Batman on. Vera says, dang. Quinqueta says, I'm going to be honest, Logan, I was going to give you a hint that relates to the masks because I swear they had voice changers, making the recording is a little sus, but apparently they did not. I don't know. Well, they did have voice changers, but I don't think any of our evidence mentions that specifically. Oak said, but if you are all right, you get 9K points. Vera said, so many points on stake. Jose says, thanks for the gift sub to Batman on. Jose says, let's go. Tip for the hearts. Oak says, I'll bet 10K now. Quinqueta said, by the way, chat, I have 2 more name facts for the case. It's not a major, but it's a fun name fact. Anyway, no, I like those. Those were good ones. Let's play some game for the sake of the lurkers out there, and then I'll get some more. I'm sorry, I don't know. This is also weird because the last couple of streams have been a lot like slower and sleepier. Maybe it's because the holiday weekend and people are home enjoying that they don't have work or school in the morning, except for me. You don't deserve to be a father, and you certainly don't deserve to be chairman of this committee. I also like that this game has had like a lot of parallels with father-son stuff that we saw a lot with Gregory Edgeworth and, of course, Miles Edgeworth. And now we're seeing like bad father-son stuff with both Manfred and Excelsius. Even I feel sorry for the boy now. Oh, wow, and Franziska hates all men. Although, you know, according to Opinion's headcanon, poor Mr. Witter. Hey, chat, would it be allowed? Can Edgeworth adopt 2 children? Is Edgeworth allowed to adopt Eustace as well? Explain yourself, Chairman Winner. Just what do you think your son is a threat? Just what do you think your son is a threat? I can't read. Take 3. Just what do you think your son is to treat him in such a way?
An utterly useless pawn sounds about right. But you're one to talk verity. You tried to worm your way into my trust by using Eustace too.
So the whole reason she's been like shepherding Eustace along this whole time is because from the get-go she was trying to go after Excelsius? Is that what we're saying?
I cannot deny it. However, I have never thought of him as a mere pawn. He may not be a naturally gifted prosecutor, but he tries. In some ways, he tries harder than anybody. That's what I've witnessed during my time with him. Yet you would call him useless? How could you?
Objection.
Oh, ho, ho, ho. Because he is Verity, my girl. He is utterly incapable of doing anything I ask of him. Mr. Edgeworth, I entrust my offering to the goddess to you, so that you may use it to call her final judgment unto Excelsius Winner. Okay, so that makes me think we're going to present some evidence here in a moment. Huh?
Oh, Logan, I have good news.
Huh?
Shad's Dadworth thought towards you with Kate and Eustace as his kids. I have a whole Dadworth scene with content of them. Eustace is loved by all. Logan rate mischief.
Oh, that is fantastic! Okay, the only downside to that is that because Kay and Eustace are the same age, it'd be nice if the two of them, I don't know, they might make a cute couple, like send them to prom together or something like that. You know, just a nice wholesome thing. Not any weird shipping, because they're 17. But like, that could be, but I love the idea of them both being Edgeworth's kids. I love that. Thank you, Vero. That makes me feel good. Thank you for the 10 bits. I appreciate that. Okay, so yes, we're probably gonna either present evidence or it's gonna ask, where is the oh, no, it's gonna say, how could he cover the tattoo? And we'll present the wigs, right? That's probably what it's gonna be. Thank you, Your Honor. I've been more than ready to do so. If the ringleader had a visible burn mark on their face that night, then it would follow that Chairman Winner is currently hiding that mark somehow. How does the man with the long beard cover something on his face? How exactly was he dressed during the auction? That will be the key to solving this case at last. Now then, your answer, please. Which piece of evidence will help us reveal the burn mark on the culprit's face? It's gonna be the wigs, right? And I did just save, didn't I? I hope I just saved. It's the wigs. Present.
Take that!
Huh? The music stopped. Yeah, we got it. Recall Nurse Needler's testimony, if you will. There was one thing we never quite resolved. The second wig. The one that wasn't used. Again, yeah, at the beginning, I'd assumed the whole time that was just Kay's hair because they didn't know if Rosie or Kay was going to come down. And they were just planning on killing and impersonating whoever it was. So yeah, great, awesome. I seem to remember it being wavy. What are you two talking about? Yeah, it's Franziska just reminding us every now and then that she's still there. Nurse Needler apparently found some very interesting items when she went to swap places with the victim. And what do they have to do with the burn mark? What she found were two wigs. One was intended to make her look more like the victim. But what was the other one for? I don't suppose it was meant to be a spare. It doesn't take a huge leap of imagination to see the truth. Compare Chairman Winner's current appearance to that of the ringleader as it was described to us.
Darn lighter. Stop it! Stop staring at me.
One very prominent difference presents itself. I feel like we're on the cusp of a breakdown. We're going to see his beard go up in flames. Sorry, I just have to cough. And then I'll read some more chat once we get some music again. His face. Or rather, what's around it. You mean it wasn't a wig after all? I mean, it was a beard wig. Is there a word for like a beard wig? Yeah, I'm sure you got like words for different types because like, yeah, I don't know, beard wig, chin wig. I don't know. Indeed, not a wig intended to go on the top of the head in any case. It was a fake beard all along, wasn't it, Excelsius Winner? Are we gonna see the breakdown? Oh, darn it, I thought I was gonna yank it off.
Why, this is all my own, dear boy. How very unkind of you to suggest otherwise.
So yeah, it's not gonna burn up and burn off. It's gonna light on fire so bad that he's gonna yank it off, right? Sorry, now that we got some music, I'm gonna read some more in the chat because I'm still so far behind. And we're reaching the 2-hour mark, and we still haven't finished this case. I hope you feel good about your bets and the prediction. Veer says, I think Maya and Phoenix should get name facts for the cameo. You guys gotta help me make sure I don't miss it since I missed it in the first investigations game. Veer said, modding for mobile didn't last long. I'll move to mobile if I need to. Salute. Nora says, yeah. Oak says, oh, Logan is so far behind. Vera said, my back is back to hurting because of me carrying the Transformers channel. I'm sorry, Vero. I did some of the work today. Said, I say this, but I'm a liar because I've been playing Fields of Mysteria instead. Make sure that, like, your biggest priority is make sure you're taking care of yourself, Vero. Oak says, Vero, I can't believe you lied. Jose says, oh, he's cooking. Vera said, I do it a lot. I'm sorry. Oak says, okay, I know this is out of character for me, but Logan is like 45 minutes behind. We should do a 45-second slow mode. Tiff says, yeah, where are you in it right now? Jose says, agree. Vera says, midway through summer. Vera said, I hate the summer track. Quick 80 with the timestamp, 1:08:15. I'm 52 minutes behind now. I guess that's an improvement from an hour. Crystal says, chat, guess what? Oak says, chicken butt, and there's the slow mode. Bumbo says, I still remember the game I came in on. Crap. What game was that, Bumbo? What game was it that you came in on? I feel like as soon as you say it, I'll go like, oh yeah, it's obvious. Oak says, oh, thank you. Tiff says to Vero, do you like the seasonal outfit swaps? Crystal says, it's official. My semester is over. Congratulations, Crystal! Are you taking any summer classes, or do you just get to enjoy the summer? Tiff says, yeah, congrats. Queen said, technically, it was also because of Logan that I started streaming more because he was my raid option. It was a lot of fun. I'm glad that, like, it's gotten you in, because again, you're doing great, especially with the reverse 1999 streams. I'll every time I try and pop into those, I feel like I really don't know what's going on in that game, but it seems like you got people chatting and having fun. It's so good to see that. Oak says, woo. Vera said, Haydens, he got it. Tiff says, yeah. Queen said, Logan, didn't you forget about the part of Needler swapped outfits with Rosie? I'd assume that also includes the gloves. I guess, yeah. Jose said, Logan hasn't even read my first comment yet. I've gotten to a few years now. Oak said to Vero, does that count as a spoiler? Vera said, what does? Adeline's probably my favorite. Oak said, saying he got it. Oh, apparently now it doesn't, because it took me so long to get to that I'm already past that point. Vera said, oh no, I was talking about Hayden, laughing. Dynamaxing, says, objection, Your Honor. Intimidation. Yeah, that should not be allowed. That should not be allowed. How are you doing? Dynamax, I'm trying to, was that always your screen name? Did you change it to that? But welcome, Dinah. I should read some over on YouTube as well. Crystal says, chat with me. We hate Mr. Winner. Opinion says, we hate Mr. Winner. Derma says, we hate Mr. Winner. Crap, I gotta scroll up. I'm at the point now where YouTube is like scrolling on me. I gotta scroll back up to where I was. Hidden Hand says, no thunder that time. Toshi says, poor Eustace, don't worry, Edgeworth could be your father. See? Yes, I'm glad that we're all on the same page with this. Hidden Hand says, Logan, I was thinking of something here. It is lol. Edgeworth, you must have a record of your reporting. Lloyd, no, Edgeworth, what you mean? Opinion says, I think whether or not we get to the end of the case totally depends on how much that goal is valued over reading chat. I'm a Franz Eustace shipper myself, so Dadworth for Eustace is kind of weird for me. It's more of a Mom Verity person. Okay, there we go. Took me a second to realize what that word was. So I can see that, because I guess Franziska is only like, what? Slightly, like, what did we decide? She's like 1 or 2 years older than him, something like that? Opinion says, I think Eustace lives with her post-canon. Tosh, just give me, why I say Tosh. Toshi says, Eustace might be the pretty girl Kay is looking for to join the Yatagarasu team. Oh, you know what Eustace should be? He should be the guy in the chair. The guy in the chair over the radio that, like, coordinates everything. I don't know. That just amuses me for some reason. Let's see. Derma says, Logan, those two things are very incompatible. You can't have your cake and eat it too. I know. Hidden Hand says, burn your bread now. Derma said, a beard wig, a big g. It's all connected. Oh, that's what big g stands for. A beard wig. And Hidden Hand says, Logan, you don't believe it, but I passed 5th grade. Help. Congratulations, Hidden Hand. I will assume years ago that you passed 5th grade, simply for the fact that if you ever pop over to Twitch again, Twitch would permaban you if that's like what you're actually doing. So I assume that was a while ago, or maybe that you just are going back and testing out of it or something. But congratulations regardless. Or maybe that's a meme. I don't know. Let me read a few more Twitch comments here. Let's see. Vera said, it's okay. He's getting there. Oak said, oh, Logan can disregard. I haven't played the game. So you might have been wrong. Vera said, he's so far behind, to be honest. He's still back when I first got here. Jose said, finally got to my comment. Quigata said, I'm about to post some name facts after this little part here. Nora says, hello, what? Quigata said, I'm going to grab some lemon lime soda. BRB, nobody pull some chaos in here. Jose said, do women really make milk? That's what I hear. I hear that's what the boob is for. I have not confirmed this myself, though. Oak said, pay no attention to Logan's inane ramblings. We must speed him up for the prediction. I'm sorry. Bubba said, love it when Logan writes fanfics on the spot. I'm sorry. Tiff said, yeah, Vera, you should know about strawberry cows. Vera said, gasp. Oak said, strawberry milk comes from red cows. With the red just mixes with the white in the milk to make strawberry. I've never been a strawberry milk guy. You know, but now you guys are making me crave some banana milk. That sounds really good right about now. Crystal says, dang, it's 105 degrees. Break your heart. Crystal, did you see what Vera posted on Discord earlier? like a few days ago, there was like 119 degrees in Veroville. Vero with the lurk. Thank you for the lurk, Vero. Crystal said, I'm not in an oven. I'm not being baked. I'm being cooked with oil.
Boobs are hands warmers. Sorry you had to find out this way.
Oh, is that what they do? But then you'd have to, like, touch them with your hands. Is that even allowed? I'm pretty sure that, like, I'm not allowed to touch boobs. I'm pretty sure. But thank you very much, Vero, for the 10 bits. I do appreciate that. Jose says, I lowered the emergency ladder as the detective leading the investigation told me to. If you haven't already, Jose, you should check. I posted a short on YouTube. I mean, it's on Twitch also, but it's probably easier to find on YouTube right now. Of that line was one of those moments, yes. I think it was a moment before, it was a different moment that, like, clued me in, but then that moment also then made me realize, like, yeah, I'm trying to remember what it was. It was, I think it was when Edgeworth was talking about, like, the police officers, that they were the ones that went in at the first on the scene, and it just was like this domino effect in my brain that broke me. Quiggett said, I'm back. I made a spill. Everything okay? Said I had one small ice, then my soda filled up with so much foam, spilling it. I'm sorry. Bubba said to Queen Katie, oops. Bubba said, that's why ice go first. Don't blame ya. Jose said, oh, he's cooking. Quiggett said, but that's what I did. I did the ice first and the soda, then it suddenly did a bunch of foam more than usual. Crystal says, boo, O'Connor. I know, it was so scary, huh? Bubba says, oh dear, that's unfortunate. Nora said, I only know the song in Japanese. Vera says, I return. Unlurk, thank you for the unlurk. Oak said, you missed the Yorigana transforming into you, O'Connor transforming into Boo. Vera said, did you clip it? Oak said, no, I'm sorry, it was my TTS. Vera said, oh man, it's okay, I'll go back and watch it. Hug for Eustace. Okay, I hope I'm getting close to catching up. I should play some game. Hang on, I got a couple of coughs. I'm gonna be so glad when I'm finally done with this cold, and then I'll try to stay healthy for more than 2 months. All right. Are y'all ready for a breakdown? I'm ready for a breakdown. My cough isn't ready for a breakdown, but I am. All right.
How very unkind of you to suggest otherwise.
We saw how your son reacted when he realized the truth, and how he desperately tried to cover for you, even in light of his realization. Yet, you still feared that he might expose you. So rather than take the risk, you bullied him until he couldn't take it anymore. Because he knew that your beard hides a prominent burn mark on a very not prominent chin. Seriously, I hope he has, like, no chin. It just slides into neck. You know, if they want to see what's under their beard, maybe don't hold fire near your beard so much, bro! Chairman Winner! I insist that you remove your beard this instant! It looks like a skull. I can see why Needler thought it was a tattoo. Okay, so my original guess was right. It just and then singed. Oh. There it is, the burn mark. And also I know why it's very recognizable. How do you get a burn mark in the shape of a skull? Was he playing with a branding iron? Mr. Edgeworth. Huh?
Points and laughs. Guys has bald and has torturing people with hair.
I love how TTS girl can't handle the word he's without an apostrophe. Hespald. Ha ha ha. No, there's nothing wrong with bald people, because I don't know if anybody in chat might be bald. I've always had a giant forehead, and so sometimes people have assumed that I was like going bald from a young age. But no, I just have a giant forehead. But thank you very much for the 10 bits. I appreciate that, Vera. Yes, laugh at him. I normally wouldn't endorse bullying, but he's an evil guy. So yeah, bully the evil guy. Mr. Edgeworth, for bringing evil to justice before the eyes of the goddess, you have my thanks. No, thank you. I couldn't have done it without you. Let's also first ask Nurse Needler, is that the mark you saw? Excelsius winner, in the name of the goddess, I hereby pronounce my verdict. In the matter of the murder of Ms. Rosie Ringer, this court finds you guilty. Slam from the other direction. Oh, and he's gone. They apparently, I guess they didn't have a Sprite this size. That's it. It just foams up, and then he's gone. Okay, all right. They, I'll assume they didn't have the budget to do much with that Sprite post breakdown.
April 6, 9:44 a.m. Committee for Prosecutorial Excellence Chamber.
Look at this. We're with all of our friends. There's Edgeworth. There's our friend Kay. There's our new friends, Nurse Needler and Hilda Hertz. Our new friend, Verity Gavel. There's our sister, Franziska. Yeah, all of our friends are here. All of our friends. Mr. Edgeworth, I can't thank you enough. You never gave up on me, even when I gave up on myself. That was very kind of you. Hope you don't mind that I switched my bandages back to my other eye again. I'm just a fickle eye injury person. I don't know. There's a pin message. And we're already in the denouement of the case. I think we might get to the end after all. Pin message written by Queen Katie, pinned by Vera, said in the fan translation version, during Excelsius Winner's breakdown, he screams, "The goggles do nothing!" Oh, you got... Okay, obviously the rest of this is going to be talking about what that's a reference to. You guys know, right? It's from The Simpsons. It's the episode where Milhouse gets cast as Fallout Boy in the Radioactive Man movie. And there's a bit where Rainier Wolfcastle, who's playing Radioactive Man, who's like an Arnold Schwarzenegger, what's the right word? Parody. I was thinking of something else. Is playing Radioactive Man. And there's a bit where like, all right, everyone, we're using real acid, so I want to see goggles, everyone. So he puts on goggles, and then like a sea of acid, like carries him away. And he's going, you hear him go, the goggles, they do nothing. Said this is a reference to the episode Radioactive Man from The Simpsons, which centers around a shoot of a Radioactive Man movie. I'm not adding the full reference to the wiki in this case of spoilers, but I guess, but it's a funny reference, I guess. Also, I posted spoiler clips to YouTube edition. Yeah, so it's not too much, because like what it was, Milhouse quit, and he was supposed to like grab Rainier Wolfcastle, Radioactive Man, away right before the acid got him, and he got it. And you just hear, the goggles, they do nothing. That also has another great bit where they're making fun of the Arnold Schwarzenegger accent, the Austrian accent that he has, where they're trying to teach him the catchphrase of Radioactive Man, up and atom, because it's like atom, like an atomic thing. And he keeps saying, up and at them. It's like, no, it's up and atom. Up and at them. No, up and atom. Up and at them. Better. I don't know. Cracks me up. It's a great episode. Great episode. Vera says, why? I gotta scroll a bit. Jose says, oh, I didn't know that. Vera said, gonna pin after the scene, trademark for it to hurt more.
Logan, you should check Ace Attorney channel and Discord RN. There's a spoiler chat screenshot you may want to see.
I'll take a look at this and then I'll read some more in the chat. I feel like these are always at my expense. It's gonna be a screenshot of me going like, or something like that. But thank you very much for the 10 bits. Then I will read some more on Twitch and YouTube, and we will get to the end of this. But the prediction is we have to get to the end by the 3-hour mark. We still have like 46 and a half minutes. So it's gonna be fine. Ace Attorney channel. Oh, there's a lot of stuff. Okay, I gotta scroll down. Okay, so here it is. We got a thing there. It's Oak saying, Oak is responding to Vero. And Vero had said, what an out-of-context message to see. I don't know what that is. Then Oak says, I think it's very related to the conversation. Isn't the Rizzler the culprit in Case 4 of AAI2? Hit TikTok sensation, the Rizzler. And Vero says, oh gosh. And these are messages from February 24th, 2025. 12:35 and 12:36 a.m. So apparently he was the Rizzler. Thank you very much for the heads up on that for the TTS for the 10 bits. Let's see. Crystal says, to Vero, perfect. We get a said salute. That's the plan, Vero. Jose says, love that. And Oak has posted a clip. It took me so long to get to this. This will tell us how far behind we are. For those who are lurking or who are new, whenever someone posts a clip to the Twitch chat, we load it up on our clip viewer so we can all watch it together. This will also give me a timestamp to know how far behind I am. This clip is titled Coyote Robo. Oh, I know what this is. And from 43 minutes ago, I'm getting closer.
Hey, I hate to break
gonna have
up
some
this
water.
important moment, but my partner thinks you look like a coyote.
Ah! What? No. I am totally not a coyote impersonating a person. I am not a coyote. Okay, chat, real talk, chat. I don't know what to do. I am actually a coyote impersonating a human, and this is the first time anybody has figured it out. Chat, what do I do? Help me, chat. You're in on my secret now. Chat, we gotta take the secret to our graves. That is not the case, Oak. But thank you very much. Thank you very much for the clip. I appreciate that. I gotta read some more. I am still so far behind. Oops, wrong button there. And gotta click this. Hang on. There we go. Oh, there's a pin message. Pinned by Vera, written by Queen Katie. Said basically Oak didn't know about Chairman Winter being the case for killer, called him a Rizzler. Oh, that's why you were saying is the Rizzler the killer. Okay. And me and Vera did a spit take at that time and saved the message, lol. Do pit of wish. Okay, that makes so much more sense. You actually, I thought you were talking about the Rizzler, the little chubby kid. So you're actually talking to him. I gotcha. Thank you. That makes so much more sense now. So wow, you got your own spoiler clip. Quickgator said to Vero, do let me know if I need to repost the name packs. I have them on the Steam Deck, so basically speed dial lol. Vera said salute, it's not far, so no worries. Gotta scroll. Vera says the Eustace effect strikes again. Oak says, I love you, Eustace. Dinah says, Eustace is genuinely one of my favorite characters in this game. Like, I've really warmed up to him. I didn't really care for him early on, but I like him a lot now. Quickgator said, Logan about to explain why Eustace is endearing. So my cat was like, but it worked, right? It made sense, didn't it? Vera said, it feels like good timing to pin. Said, yeah, get him. He's saying that to convince himself, it's here. Quickgator said, the feels. Vera said, hold hands, chat. Oak says, shut up, soggy blanket, F-face, Eustace is the best. I feel like Oak doesn't like the Rizzler anymore. Quickgator said, he really is Hugh O'Connor 2.0. They'd be great friends. Oh, they would! Oak says, Eustace is the best. Crystal says, poor Eustace. Vera said, I hate how Logan is doing a good job voicing the scene because now I'm mad at Excelsius. Well, good you should be. He was awful. Vera says, Ogh. I wish my voice was a lot better so I could have really screamed that crying and going out that he did. There was a play we did one time where I had a character who had to do that a bunch, and it was so much fun. And so I kind of had my own I have my own crying and running off stage noise that I do, but I can't do it with my voice like this right now. Let's see. Quickgator said, for real, he's too good at voice acting. Well, thank you. Oak said, Celsius is a great villain, though, and his voice is perfect. No, Eustace, no. Vera said, he made him cry. Crystal says, I feel so bad. Keyboard slam. Tiff said, deserved. Oak says, kill this soggy B-word. Tony says, cold? Yes, I've got a cold, Tony. I've had one like this whole week. It seems like it was like basically from Tuesday onward. It's been awful. How you doing, Tony? Crystal says, chat with me. We hate Mr. Winnett. And another clip. We'll check that out in a second, but let's check out YouTube chat. Crap, where did I leave off? There we go. Hidden Hand says, burn your beard now. Derma says, a beard wig, a big... Oh, there, I read that. Oh, wow, I'm actually almost caught up. Derma said, need to go. See y'all. See you, Dermo. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Opinion says, my headcanon is that Excelsius burned that shape into his face intentionally. It'd just be, like, cool or something. Oh, yeah, because, like, we still haven't found out what happened to Rosie Ringer 12 years ago. Is it going to be one of those things where we're like the next case? Well, no, the next case can't be another flashback to Gregory Edgeworth because he wouldn't have been around anymore 12 years ago. I hope we find it out, but maybe we won't. Well, maybe once Kay gets her memory back, she'll let us in. I hope it ties in the next case somehow. Hidden Hand says, yes, a long time ago. I don't know why I said that. Yes, just making sure. Let's see, Crystal said, yeah, Vera with another clip. Hang on, lurkers, we will get back to the game. But I'm just trying to catch up in chat, and we have another clip that was posted in the chat. This will tell us how far behind we are. 35 minutes ago! I'm getting so much closer. I'll probably be able to play some more game in just a minute then. This one is titled, Excelsius, You Monster.
Those tests you aced. I had the school give you perfect scores on all of them. Those debate and speech competitions you won.
I hate Excelsius.
Were all friends of mine. If you never even realized that much, there's no hope for you, I'm afraid. None at all.
I see there's a pin message. I'm sorry, but I'm so caught up in the moment. I will check it in a little bit. I got so sucked into this scene.
You're no son of mine.
Like, I couldn't believe my eyes when he said that. That was just like the worst thing.
You must see that.
That is like the worst thing he could have said to him. I felt so bad for Eustace. Oh, here we can see. Look at that. Oh, he actually did. See, look at that. Gavel's sprite, which is supposed to be in the background, is like in front of Needler. We found a problem with the game. 0 out of 10. Would not recommend. Oh no, no use. Thank you so much for clipping that, Vero. And that showed what I was talking about. So you guys know I'm not crazy. Crystal says, dang, typo of the day. Oak says, we hate soggy F face. Tiff says, yeah, F Mr. Winnet. For real, for real. Crystal says, for real, we hate Winnet. I love the way that you guys yes and these typos. Quickgator said, yeah, I saved those name facts for last just for the scene. Now I can remove them from my list. Thank you, Queen Katie. They were fun. And again, that stuff added like really neat layers to the fan translation names. Oak says, I'm deeply invested in seeing the Soggy Man die painfully. Crystal with a timestamp 1:47:20. I'm still over a half hour behind, but not an hour behind. Boba says, I decided to have a grilled cheese in a tortilla with pain sauce for some reason somewhat helped. You know what I love? I don't like a grilled cheese sandwich, but I love a microwavable quesadilla on a flour tortilla. It's so good. Tiff said to Bumbo, it might have been the tortilla, to be honest. I've heard that carbs can help with stomachs sometimes, really. And there, the slow-mo just increased. Oak says 1:51:51, half hour behind. Let's play some more. And then hopefully we'll be able to like, do some back and forth. I feel bad for like lurkers who might be wondering why isn't this guy playing the game? Oh, and I see over on YouTube, there was like some spamming emotes, like little hearts and 100s and little party popper things. I don't know who does those, but thank you very much. You never gave up on me, even when I gave up on myself. That was very kind of you. There's no need to thank me. As a prosecutor and as her friend / father figure. Oh, they did it! I didn't even press. Oh, no. As a friend, it was the least I could do. Thank you, Edgeworth. You've grown as a person. I love that it gave me like just enough time to like think like, no, not just as a prosecutor. Mr. Edgeworth, rejoice. I've learned that Chairman Winner has been safely delivered to the detention center. The search for the missing auction hammer continues, however. We are talking about Chairman Winner here, so it's highly likely that it has already been destroyed. It was probably burned. The question is whether they'll need that as evidence to convict him. Hope the next case isn't like in a week's time that he got like acquitted because they couldn't get that evidence. Okay, but if he's going to the detention center, if he goes to prison, I was gonna say what type of animal he'll have, but without Lagarde as the warden anymore, do you think they'll still continue their animal program for all the inmates? Assuming they did, what type of animal do you think he should have? Maybe like a naked mole rat now that he's all like burned up and bald or something like that? In addition, there is one other matter I must inform you of. The chairman made a rather strange statement. According to him, the letters were not part of his plan. The letters between Kay and Rosie? But Rosie actually had them. Well, but they were found in the ringleader's jacket. Are we saying that maybe they were planted there by Needler? Would they have helped us point us in the right direction? I'm not sure. What? How could that be? He claims that he and Miss Needler found this letter on Ms. Ringer's person. And that they found a second letter on Kay's unconscious body. From their contents, the letters seem to be ones of correspondence. So he leapt to the conclusion that they must have been working with each other. That's quite the conclusion to jump to. No, I mean, no! Okay, so we're saying that he didn't forge the letters. Yeah, they were working together. But we still don't know why. We still don't know what Rosie Ringer wanted revenge for something 12 years ago. As he read the letters, that's when he came up with the idea to frame Miss Faraday for Miss Ringer's murder. So he decided to place the victims in a very conspicuous place. Namely, in her left chest pocket. But that was the problem because it didn't have the holes that were from the stab wound. So, again, the next case has got to delve into Rosie Ringer's past and whatever it was 12 years ago, right? They can't leave that unaddressed. Sounds like he's just trying to make excuses for himself. Or maybe Kay will get her memory back and just be, oh, the memory's back. Let me tell you about this whole thing. It's kind of a crazy story. Yes, I certainly thought the same. Perhaps it was some sort of last-ditch ploy on his part. But it matters not. He will not answer. He will answer to the goddess now. And under her security... I can't read. My brain's not working because of my cold. And under her scrutiny, such strategies cannot hope to succeed. He will not escape justice. Curtsy. And with that, one of the duties... duties... with which I have been entrusted with which I have been entrusted with. We talked about this before in the last game. That's wrong grammar. You only need one with. The duties with which I have been entrusted, no word right after that word is gone, is complete at last. Judge Cavell, before you go, can you tell us what you know about how Chairman Winner came to murder Ms. Ringer? There's more there, isn't there? Yes, and I suppose you have earned the right to the whole truth. Okay, so now we're gonna have an info dump. Ms. Ringer once had a lover, a press photographer. Let me guess, and 12 years ago, Excelsius had that photographer killed. He was investigating the underground auctions as a freelance journalist. But before he could uncover the truth behind the auctions, he was disappeared. That means killed, yes? Just making sure I understand. All Ms. Ringer was left with were the memories and personal effects of her lover. And so, seeking revenge on Chairman Winner, she made her appearance at the auction. So, maybe he wasn't killed in a fire, but she just happened to have a burn. And the burn is also just kind of unrelated, but it was recognizable with a mask. Unfortunately for her, her opponent struck first. Also, if you have a very, conspicuous skull-shaped burn scar on your chin, and you're conducting an underground auction as part of a smuggling ring of homicide case evidence, if that happens to you, maybe pick one of the masks that covers your chin. I see. So that's the story behind this case. A much shorter story than I expected. She had a boyfriend and he killed him. While the goddess does not condone acts of wanton vengeance, Ms. Ringer's actions have exposed Chairman Winner's crimes at last. Oh crap, by the way, we're at the 2.5 hour mark almost. I should have asked this earlier because we might end a little early tonight. But do people want to start keeping an eye out for raid suggestions? Just tossing that out there. Raid suggestions for whenever this case ends. Let me know. So, that was your real goal. You were tasked with exposing Excelsius Winner and the corruption at the heart of the committee. Does anyone know what happened to Mr. Winner? Like the younger one? He passed me a note while you guys were arguing earlier. It says, "Do you like me? Check 1, yes, no." And I gotta respond to him. Also, can I borrow someone's pen? There's no pockets in this hospital gown. I'm afraid I haven't been able to get in touch with him. Do you have any idea why his dad turned out to be a murderer and claimed he disowned him? Okay, he's sad. He needs some space. Give him more than an hour, please. Probably because I wasn't there for him just now when he needed me most. Okay, don't blame yourself completely, Gavel. A little bit of the fault does go on Excelsius. Oh, I really feel bad for him. Well, don't pity him too much. At least he knows the truth now. And no matter how hard it might be, he'll need to learn to accept it. If he can't, he'll never be able to move on with his life. Says the woman who was offended earlier when somebody said Manfred had fabricated evidence. Yeah. Trust me. A father's influence isn't easily erased, but in time, he can hopefully try and change his ways. You're right. You've gotta be. Could I change too, I wonder? Can I move on with my life? Yeah, when is she gonna get her memory back? I hope she's back to normal next case. I want her fun Great Thief K back. What? She just evaporated. Are you okay, Kay? How's that head feeling? By the way, I forgot to mention, this one guy, Samson Tangaroa, he came out of prison, had a cookbook that had a remedy for amnesia in it. Here, take this pill. Just made of chocolate and frozen ice, but it works. Nom, nom, nom. Down the hatch. You're better now. I'm fine. Thank you? With a question mark? I'm so sorry, Kay. You were my patient. I had a responsibility to you, and instead I let them accuse you of youch! Dang right, we ain't just in the business of fixing bodies, Missy. The mind's where it all begins. Also, let her know that we have a cure for amnesia. You should have given that to her ages ago if you weren't covering up an attempted framing. I guess murder, whatever. I don't know. I'm tired. I need my nap. I'm gonna go home and watch my shows. You're right, Grandma. Speaking of which, how's your memory? It's like with a little more time. Maybe like as much time as it takes for the next time we stumble across a body. Maybe I'll be able to remember some more. Please forgive me, but I had better be on my way. I am to preside over the trial of Fifi Lagarde in a bit. The Bronco Knight case, huh? Who's the defense attorney? It's not gonna be Fender, is it? Because he like helped figure out it. Because he defended Simeon Saint.
What happened?
Heard what happened. Oh, there's a poll. I completely missed the poll. I was caught up in the game again. What animal would Excelsius have in jail? The options were goldfish, German shepherd, bald eagle, Komodo dragon, and spider. And the winner was goldfish, with O contributing 10 channel points. Thank you. I'll read some chat. Sorry, I'm behind. Ha! Bumble says to Tiff, maybe. Tiff said, don't quite me on that though. I'm not a doctor, just work in the pharmacy. Oh, the bit about carbs helping with an upset stomach. Bubba says, it's not wise common to have buttered toast when... Oh, that's a good question. Because whenever I'm sick, I usually have like cinnamon toast. I'll have toast, buttered up, and then some cinnamon sugar sprinkled on it. And I'll usually have that with some cherry 7-Up. Now, I wonder, maybe that is true. I don't know. Quigata said, don't forget Logan, technically with a promise notebook. Kay and her dad, too. That's true. Did we ever find... I'm assuming that she just had it with her and she dropped it. No, because that was the whole thing. That we said, we'll help you get back what you lost. So we still haven't found out why Kay lost her promise notebook. We've got to find that out in the next case, right? That maybe it was stolen or maybe she was like investigating the underground auction and actually dropped it or something. But yes. Tiff says to Bumbo, I think so. If I had to guess, probably because carbs can easily absorb things in the stomach that may cause upset feelings. Vera said, gonna have to dig out art for this. Quigata said, spoiler clips incoming soon once Logan presents the final item. Bumbo says to Tiff, interesting, thank you. The other reason I was thinking is that it's simple and getting anything to stay is good. So something simple helps. That's what I always assumed. Is like when I have a fever, I usually don't have much of an appetite. So I thought maybe it's just because it's simple to digest things. My system is easier or more okay with it. Quigata said, okay, besides the epilogue part of the case, Logan is officially done with the case. Bumbo says, lurk, going to play Stardew while listening. Have a good time. Thank you for the lurk, Bumbo. Hope Stardew's going well. Queen Katie says, I could do a Maya Fey name fact for when it's cameo time, but I'm saving Phoenix's for Great Ace Attorney with Little Heart. Ooh, I'm looking forward to finding out why. Well, because Great Ace Attorney, isn't it like his ancestor or something? Crystal says, I wish Fields of Mystery would come to mobile. Bumbo said, I came in on One Shot, by the way. That's what it was. Oh, One Shot was a beautiful game. I miss that game. Let's take a look over on YouTube. Crystal says, Logan, do you think that one day we will need slow mode in YouTube chat? I mean, maybe. Pardon me? You know, I guess I could be optimistic and say I hope so, because that'll mean I'm being successful. I don't know. But Vero doesn't want me to be successful. We learned last stream. Crystal says, what do you think, Chad? Want a slow mode experience? /J. Toshi says, imagine Excelsius with a shoe bill terrorizing the prison. Those things are... You guys have seen what a shoe bill bird looks like, right? Those things look freaky. I'm not like freaky free, but it's just like the... Anyway, but yes, I could imagine that. Vera said, maybe when it's done with early access. Crystal says, hopefully. Tiff said to Crystal, do you play Fields of Mystery at 2? Crystal says, no summer classes. Nice! Nora said, I'll BRB, see you when you get back, Nora. Crystal said, nope. but it looks so good. Dinah says, I was DJ Dinah for a while, but everyone just defaulted DJ, so I had to change it. Okay, because Dynamaxing, you know what it sounds? It sounds almost like dynamite, but it's like Max instead of my. I don't know. That's probably just me. But okay, I was gonna say I didn't think it was just Dynamaxing, so it was DJ Dinah before. So thank you very much for the clarification. Tiff said, Crystal, it is, love it so much. Tiff said, Vero is Aelin, still your favorite so far. Vera said, my fave keeps changing. Now it's Baylor. Oak said, Logan, Froyo. Just frozen yogurt? I don't have any here. Nora says, oh, apparently my sub ran out. Aw. Tiff says to Vero, yeah, Baylor number 2. Vera says, so whimsical. Hayden number 1, Baylor number 2, March number 3. And Oak says, boobs are the number 1 fidget object. They are awesome. Well, I don't think I'm allowed, like if I'm at work and when I need to fit, I just twiddle my thumbs. I found out that's apparently a thing with my mom's side of the family. When my uncle passed away last year, I may have mentioned this before, and I went to the funeral, and afterward we all went out to my uncle's house, and we're all sitting around, and we all realized that everyone on my mom's side of the family were all twiddling our thumbs. And it was a weird experience going to his house because like I hadn't been there since I was like 8 or 9 or maybe 10 or something like that when I was little. We used to go there a lot when I was younger for like miniature family reunion type of stuff. And so all my memories were the house is huge with a massive backyard that went on forever. And then we went there to his funeral last year. And I'm like, no, this is just a normal size house. Like nothing is huge, but it seems so huge when I was a kid. Vera said they're hand warmers for women. When their hand is cold, they use the boobs to warm their. Okay, that makes sense. I use the pits of my knees for that. I'll stick like my hands in my knees and like close my knees. Quickie said my favorite part about Stream Deck is that it actually tells you the amount of characters a message is, so I can pre-plan instead of Twitch cutting it off at the moment. Oh, that's cool. And Queen Gator with the clip. We'll check that clip out in a minute. I'm assuming it's a spoiler clip. Let's get back to the game for a minute, and then we'll be right back to that. Queen Katie, thank you very much in advance for the clip, though. The Bronco Knight case, huh? Who's the defense attorney? Oh, maybe it's gonna be that man. No, but yeah, it shouldn't be Fender, because Fender was like Simeon Saint's attorney and was instrumental in getting her accused, so that wouldn't work out. It was supposed to be Ms. Ringer, but as she is no longer with us, we are still in the process of finding her replacement. Ms. Ringer was scheduled to represent Warden Lagarde. And also, And Lagarde had some weird ties to Zhang Fa. Because it felt like that she was allowing and helping, not allowing, but helping silence Bronco Knight because he wasn't going along with the lie that the presidential assassination of the president of Zhang Fa was authentic. So maybe we are going to get some more tie-ins to that next chapter. And of course, until we find Eustace, there is nobody to act for the prosecution either. Well, I mean, give Miles his badge back and he can do it. In any case, I must take my leave. Wait, please! What about Mr. Edgeworth's badge? What's gonna happen to it now? I'm worried. Who's gonna feed it? I always gave it sunflower seeds. With its chairman under arrest, the committee's activities have been suspended for the time being. So, to answer your question, it's complicated. I do like that when Gavel when her sprite here turns around, her hair doesn't switch sides magically. And Kay's bandages seem normal here, unlike on her larger sprite. It's all up to the goddess now. But don't worry about it, Kay. It's a consequence of my own making. And I assume you do not mean to change your mind? Of course not. I chose the path of truth, and I chose it willingly. With Chairman Winner out of the picture, justice is in the hands of the righteous once more. If you did wish to follow the path of the prosecutor again, Mr. Edgeworth, I would be more than happy to facilitate such a decision. It's very kind of you to offer, but I can't accept your help at this time. I can't ask for my badge back when I'm not even sure if I want it anymore. I see. It seems we are destined to continue on different paths then. Well, I trust you'll keep my badge safe until they converge again. With all I have. Ah, my stupid younger brother, who's older than me. In the meantime, I have here a token of the goddess's mercy. Oh, it's the promise notebook! You may return this notebook to its rightful owner. Oh, is this going to be one of those things where at the end of the chapter, you got to present a piece of evidence to somebody for a bonus thing? What if we give the wrong thing to Kay? What if we give her Yatagarasu pin instead? Kay's promise notebook! It seems it was due to be sold in the auction. Was it evidence in one of the previous cases we did? Did Kay not have a hold of it? Let's also save, because we haven't done that in a while, and we're over 2.5 hours into the stream already. And we do have to get to the very end of all this stuff for the prediction to work. So that's interesting. Let's pause. Let's pause for a second here, because Queen Katie did post a spoiler clip into the chat, and let's check this out. It is it's a clip on YouTube, because a lot of the clips on Twitch are not working. So let's check out what this clip is. This is here. So this clip is titled "A Chin Full of Flames." Oh, it's gonna be what I guess that is Beard was gonna go up in flames.
I won't let you deny it any longer.
Oh, we did it! Oh, it's Beard! Oh, it's Beard! Oh, good. I was worried we might have to see his chin, and I assume his chin is very, very, like... I said that again today! I want him to have, like, no prominence in his chin. So thank you very much for the clip. I appreciate that. So yes, that was totally foreshadowed and predicted. Tiff says, ew. Crystal said, oh dang, he bald. Crystal says, bad and bald. Oak said, I'm upset that it doesn't look more pathetic. And Queen Katie with another clip here. So let me load this one up as well. Another one that was then uploaded over to YouTube, titled Beardless Tattoo. So let's check this one out, and I'll use the opportunity to have some water.
Yeah, yes.
And the part that wasn't covered had a tattoo on it. I remember that much for sure. See, that's why I was confused. I thought it was going to be there's a beard. Is this beard fake? Ah! He can't grow that long of a beard overnight. So he had a tat. Okay, it was a fake beard. I was right. He. So when he has this breakdown, and I think his beard's gonna catch on fire, that'll reveal the tattoo? What? I was right. Thank you very much for the spoiler clips, Queen Katie. I appreciate that. Oops, wrong button. There we go. I gotta click back into this. Let me play a little more till we get some music, and then I'll read some more in the chat. It seems it was due to be sold in the auction, and with the name K written on its cover, Chairman Winner made the connection immediately and knew who it belonged to. It was the same name as the one in the letters, after all. The letters he claimed to know nothing about. I suppose he insisted he didn't prepare them. Yes, he also had something else to say. Apparently, he thought that Miss Faraday was after her notebook and that Miss Ringer was after his life. Okay. I think, yes, Kay was after the notebook. Kay was probably also trying to steal the truth, but she was probably after her notebook because it means a lot to her. But Ms. Ringer, Rosie Ringer, I don't know if she was necessarily going to try and kill him, but she was definitely going to confront him, maybe try and expose him or something like that. And that their respective goals are what led them to cooperate and infiltrate the auction together. Because if Kay knew that she was going to try and kill Excelsius, I don't think Kay would help her out. Unfortunately for him, he misread the situation completely. It was all just happenstance. If Kay had known a defense attorney who was also a member of the committee, there's no way she wouldn't have told me. That just isn't like her. Oh, so he's saying that the letters were prepared. They were I thought a minute ago that she said that he found that, and that's I'm confused. I'm gonna need to go back and watch these cutscenes later. Actually, let me look at the history real quick. History. Gotta click this up. Yeah, how did this work here? Same name as the one of the letters after. Yeah, because that makes it sound like that he knew that the notebook belonged to Kay because he saw the letter, so he didn't write those letters. So we're going under the assumption the letters were still forged, but by somebody else? Is that what we're saying? Okay, so I that is the vibe I'm getting. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong here. Your belief in her is touching. While the notebook did become part of Chairman Winner's cover-up scheme, it is also a treasured possession of Ms. Faraday's, which is why I would like for her to have it back, As I am sure would the goddess. Oh, maybe that's what's going to be. She's going to see that, and that'll be what'll trigger her memories to come flooding back. Thank you. He was so oddly, like, hesitant about that. Is it because Kay, like, has inappropriate doodles of Edgeworth in the margins? I pray that it helps her to recover her lost memories. Curtsy. She's, like, such a nicer person. Like, she does one good thing, and suddenly she's good with everything. And why is Lotta Hart still here? Is everything all right? Judge Gavell wanted me to return something important to you. Hang on. I just want to see. I don't know if he's going to do it automatically or if it's going to be one of those things where we can present it to her. I want to see what happens if we give her the wrong thing. Maybe we'll get a bad ending. Could we just be an awful friend / father to her? This game's all about being a bad dad. Oh no, he just does. Ah, is it that? Oh, that's, it cut right away. We only got to see it for a second. We'll always greet people with a smile, even people you don't know. Never cry in front of strangers. Oh, it's when she was so little in the first game. In the flashback case. Daddy, I wrote them all down, Daddy. Yeah, I'm gonna keep all my promises and be a real hero when I grow up, just like you. Oh, wait! I forgot to write one down, the most important promise of all. There's her little kid sprite with her giant belt over the shoulder. Promise number 5. Always try your hardest to learn about things you don't understand. I remembered it just how you said it, and now I'll never forget it, even if I get amnesia. How did I know I was gonna get amnesia when I was a baby? Always try your hardest to learn about things you don't understand. The memories are flooding back into my brain! Download! Oh, crap, what'd she say? I was making fun of her panic. I'm Kay Faraday, the great thief who'll do anything to get her hands on it. Oh, she's back! I gotta see what the history was. That's right, I have to try. Hey! And we got our theme, yeah! I'm reading a few more comments in chat. We got like 12 or 13 minutes to finish this case. It's only you guys' points all on the line, right? Crystal says, oh wait, no, Vera says, I need to send the audio of he's balding and he's torturing people with hair on Discord. What is that from? What is that from? Crystal says, bully the baldy. Vera says, we win. Vera says, confetti, can we get his head in the fan translation? Oh, this pin earlier, Vera said, her skirt is doing it again. Oak says, does that count as the end of the case after the verdict? Do we have to finish the chapter? We gotta finish the chapter. We're not there yet. Vera said, no, we have to finish the chapter. Crystal laughing. Queen Gita said, there's an epilogue, sis, so we have to still finish the chapter. Queen Gita said, I never watched Simpsons, so it was an interesting reference to learn about. Oh, it's a great episode. Those first 8 to 10 seasons of Simpsons are gold. Just stop after that. Queen Gita said, nah, don't worry, Logan. For once, it's at Oak's expense. Me and Vero laughed at Oak for a bit, lol. Crystal says, the Rizzler. Oak said, I feel very bad for comparing Rizzler to that soggy F-face of a man. So it's good to know that like, if someone turns out to be evil, you stop going after that person. Queen said, basically, Oak didn't know about Chairman. Oh, that was pinned earlier. Oak says, I think I was actually talking about the Rizzler as in the child. Queen said, this happens all the way during case 2, I think. Oak said, I sent the full screenshot in Ace Attorney channel. I won't make Logan read it during stream, but it should have slightly more context. Nora said, so I was supposed to be doing character designs for something and I ... I spent the entire time making a new Instagram account. Does it have a theme to it? Perhaps? I should look over in YouTube. Anything new there? Let's see, Opinion said. Verity says she has to go like 4 times in the scene. That is relatable though. Have you ever done that before? You're like at a party and you'd be winding down. It's like, all right, I got to take off. Everybody, bye. Good to see you. Oh, yeah, we got to make sure that we meet up next week because that's going on. Oh, yeah, that'll be fun. I miss you so much. Blah, 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 blah. Anyway, like I said, I got to get going. But it's good to see you. It's been a lot of fun. The food was really great. Oh, man, that's so good. You gotta like tell me how you made that. That was really great. Blah, 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 blah. Chatting. Anyway, I got to get going. Got to head out. Going home. But yeah, let me know when you watch that show we were talking about because it's really good. And then chat. I know I got to go. Happens to me all the time. Oak says, I posted my fan art of the Rizzler while everyone was just talking about the case and tried to justify it. Queen said, you're no son of mine. Wow, trans Eustace, wowzers. Vera said, there's another person on YouTube who'd agree. Thank you, Christopher the Tomcat. I assume that means you want me to play this case so that you can win the bet. But I'm just going to read till I see a timestamp is coming up here because I want to see how far behind I am now. Because Queen Gator says, awesome, and Oak said 2:22:22. Look at that, I'm still like almost a half hour behind. Sorry, I got a cough again. Coughing too much makes me just as lightheaded as talking too much. But okay, let's get back to the game. Let's see if we can get to the end of this before the 3-hour mark. Second Yanagarasu and assistant to Mr. Edgeworth. Ah, I missed that toothy smile of hers. Okay, is that really you? Yeah, I can't say I'm not a little bit embarrassed, but yeah, I'm back! And I couldn't have done it without you, Mr. Edgeworth. Honestly, though, you should have given that notebook to me like days ago. Oh my goodness, this would have all been so much easier. You never stopped helping me, even when I was totally lost. I was being a sad sack and couldn't remember anything. Thank goodness, you certainly seem to be back. We gotta go tell Gumshoe. Gumshoe's probably still worried sick about Kay. Okay, so this is the real you, huh? Welcome back. It's so good to know you're better. I can sleep easy now. Also, have we confirmed that the two of them entered some plea deal with Verity, or are they both going to get arrested now because Needler was literally an accomplice to a murder? Where's more. Now that you found it, don't you dare go losing that memory of yours again, young lady, you hear? Miss Needler, Dr. Hertz, thanks a lot for looking after me, even though one of you little scamps tried to help frame me. Don't do that again, okay? And if you really are better, how about you get out of them dang hospital duds? Yeah, go get back in your costume. Oh yeah, I washed all your clothes for you here. Those are dry clean only. You ruined them. I thought they were with Detective Gumshoe. And speaking of whom, I hope he's okay. He handed them over to us after they came back from forensics. Oh, this Needler, sorry. He handed them over to us after they came back from forensics. I hope Gumshoe's not like the accused person in the next case. That'd be really sad. And did he happen to mention if forensics found anything of note? I didn't ask. Anyway, never mind that now. Put him on, Kay. I want to see. She doesn't have to do this. Yeah, I mean, find her a changing room. Wait, what about her bandages? Surely it's too soon to remove them. They're just decorations. She's totally Chunibyo. Oh, this is probably fine. Most of medicine is just based on guessing and bandaging up people like mummies. She may have taken a big old lump to the head, but she wasn't really hurt otherwise. But then, why all the bandages in the first place? Prevention is better than the cure. Stitch in time saves 9. Those are just a few of my mottos. Another motto is always give people tons of bandages until they tell you to stop. Both of which sound like painfully annoying practices for your patients. Okay, Kay, transformation time. Okay, I said she's got to go find a changing room, but I'd love it if she has like a magical girl transformation, like spins around, has like the shiny lights and everything. Game? Ah, darn it. Oh well, she's back now. Yeah, now this is what I'm talking about. Fits like a stolen glove. Wait, is her hair doesn't usually go straight down like this? Doesn't it usually like spike out? Is this a unique sprite to suggest that she doesn't have access to all of her normal hair care products? Because where's the... Am I imagining things? Doesn't she usually... Or does it always go down? I gotta Google this. I'm not sure. I'm questioning myself. What is Kay Faraday usually? Let me Google Kay Faraday and just find a picture of her. Oh no, it usually goes straight down. Maybe I'm just thinking of like an image of her with it blown in the wind or something. Yeah, now this is what I'm talking about. Fits like a stolen glove. That smile suits you better too. That's a surprisingly kind thing for her to say, even as somebody she likes. As it always did. Thanks to you too, Ms. Von Karma. I'm so glad you showed up when you did. I simply came when Scruffy asked me to. Not that I care or anything like that. Stupid Emoto-chan. I'm sure he'll be very happy to see that you're back to your old self too. Speaking of Gummy, where is he? Yes, where is he? Also got 4.5 minutes till the 3-hour mark. Who knows? Perhaps the well of his devotion ran dry when a certain someone threw away his badge. Oh, Detective Gumshoe? Why is it only after you're gone that now I experience such unnecessary feelings for you? Oh. Anyway, I have to be going, and I'll be taking those two with me. Oh, Needler and Hertz because they did crimes? Yeah, they did crimes. Wait, what's gonna happen to them? Acting as an accomplice in a murder and forging autopsy report 18 years ago. Their crimes can't be allowed to go unpunished. Well, the forged report, that might be past the statute of limitations, right? But the fact that Excelsius Vienna coerced them into cooperating will, of course, be taken into account. Don't you worry about us, Kay. As long as Grandma and me are together, we'll be all right. Adorable little smile straight at the camera. Take care, Kay Faraday, until we meet again. Can you take Lotta with you? She's probably still like, oh crap. Lotta is still there. So, Kay, I know you only just got your memory back, but I need to ask you some questions. Sure, ask away. What happened the day you lost your memory? What were you doing? Let's see. Somebody asked me to meet them at Gourd Lake. But I didn't know who it was. So there I was, just looking up at the moon with... Oh. So she was never on the roof to begin with. She was under a cherry tree at Gourd Lake. Then how did her body come tumbling down through the hatch on the roof? And then she saw someone come walking through. That's okay, so that's why she saw that. I was looking up at the moon, and that's how the moon lines up there too. Somebody in a red raincoat started walking toward me. So she was knocked out and then just someone carried her up there to the roof and dropped her through? They must have drugged me somehow because that's when I fell unconscious. What? I'm not sure I follow. Kay was at Gourd Lake looking up at the moon? Anyway, when I came to, I was on the roof of this building. I was in a daze and stumbled around up there when I saw the person in the red raincoat again, but they were lying on the ground. I was so surprised I stumbled backwards. And then I was falling and everything went dark. When I came to the second time, I couldn't remember anything. The person in the red raincoat? Who in the world were they? I'm sure they were walking in midair. Ow, thinking about it's making my head hurt. Just breathe, Kay. You only got your memory back. You're still confused. I imagine the root cause of your confusion is you fall down the hatch, your memory is at 2 different locations. The name on the promise notebook. It's the fall down the hatch, right? And crap, but there's only 1 minute till the 3-hour mark. So does that mean I'm not allowed to say the funny thing? I gotta say the right thing to be nice to chat. Your fall down the hatch, but I might reload that save later and see what that would have been. You fell quite a ways. Is it any wonder your memories are a little muddled? Sure, falling down that hatch is how I lost my memory. But that doesn't seem like a direct cause for my confusion, don't you think? Oh, was I wrong? I suppose not. She's got a point. Just before you found yourself here, you were at Gourd Lake. There's only one reason I can think of for your memories to be so jumbled up. Really? And that is? I imagine the root cause. Okay, so it's your memory at 2 different locations. I'm sorry, chat. There's like less than 20 seconds. I don't think we're making it to the 3-hour mark. I imagine things are all mixed up in your mind because you were at Gourd Lake 1 minute and then at the top of the big building the next 5 seconds. And because you saw the moon in both locations, your mind blended the memories of the two together. But those are two totally different places. I know I was pretty out of it, but I don't think I could have gotten them confused that easily. 3 hours are up. In that case, I want to see what he would have said about the notebook since we're already screwed. And here I thought we were going to be ending early tonight. But that means I should also take some time to read some chat. Because, yeah, I'm still so far behind. But I'm sorry. Looks like 22.3 thousand points are going to Honest Magpie and some others. Oh, I see over on YouTube, Opinion says we're going past the 3-hour mark laughing. Yeah, I honestly thought we'd make it fine. Did I just goof around too much? C. Vera says, "Aw, I'm proud of you, Miles Edgeworth." Oak says, "Always perfect, naked mole rat." Quickie said, "Well, Logan, depends on who you consider. Do you consider Blackwell and Taka to be because of that program? If so, then yeah, he'd still have an animal, maybe." Oh, that's a good point. I think that, yeah, let's go with it. Let's say the program still goes. Vera said, "Oh gosh, should we make a poll about it? What animal would he have?" Quickie said, "I say German Shepherd." Oak says, "Oh, rate suggestions." Thank you very much, Oak. I will copy these down in my text file because we are going to need to be taking care of these soon. Queen Katie and those who are familiar with the game, does this epilogue wrap up soon enough that we can just do the rest of it now tonight before we do our raid, or do we just need to go ahead and say, nah, we're done. We got a raid right now? Because I'd like to try and just go ahead and finish this completely, and the next time we can start the new case completely fresh. Oak says, "Hilda, my love, take off your clothes." You know, we should have had her change in front of her. Hilda hurts. Just for Oak's sake. Should have had a magical girl transformation. Oak said, "No, don't read chat, just check the poll." On a pin message, Queegate said, "We can do this part quickly enough." Awesome, so that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna stick around. And just do it if that's okay with you guys. I mean, we're going over, but just like a tiny little bit. I just gotta make sure that I take it easy on my voice as we're going over, because it does already feel a little bit strained. And it's going to be strained a bit at work tomorrow, but I think we should be fine. Thank you very much for the pin message. I still got to read some more in the chat, even though we're still in slow mode. I'm still so far behind, but thank you very much, Queen Katie. Let's see. Vera says, a little smile, says, "I love you, Logan, so I want to go yandere and gatekeep you or something." Oh, it's okay. So yeah, as long as your yandere for me is gatekeeping me and not killing me, then that is fine. Because I don't want to get yandere killed. Is it still yandere if it's not killing, though? I don't know. Vera says, "That what it means to go yandere? Who knows?" Yeah, I think yandere is more of like either I love you, and if I can't have you, no one will, or I love you, and anything I love, I must like destroy because that's how I express my love, or something like that. Nora says, "On Lurk, welcome back from the Lurk, Nora." Oak says, "No, bad Logan, don't pause for a second." Quiggy said, "Remember how Gumshoe said the bad told him the promised notebook disappeared from the evidence list?" And I think that was in one of the cases stuff in the last game. So then that never got resolved in the last game? Like, that's kind of amazing because I feel like you don't have those type of holes left open between games and the regular Ace Attorney games. Interesting. Magpie says, "Can't wait to try to be correct in my prediction for the second time in a row." Dinah says, "No spoilers, but the next case has to be my absolute favorite, Logic Chess, or is it Mind Chess in the official segment?" I think it's Mind Chess. I still am very proud of how well I did in the Excelsius Mind Chess, even though like the 3 before that I sucked in. So I'm looking forward to it. Quick said Mind Chess in this version. Yes, Dinah says has. Vera said, "I agree. This image, it's tainted my head forever because of Clown University." Nora said, "Oh my gosh, this girl." Quick said, "Yeah, the meme lol, another streamer. Crystal got this tainted too." Wait, which image was tainted? Because of Clown University? What? Nora said, "Let's go." Magpie says her teeth look bigger than usual. Quiggy said, "My favorite theme, my best theme song." Crystal says he's bald and he's torturing people who have hair. He came from Totally Spies, I think. Okay. I never really got into Totally Spies. I tried watching some episodes, but I hate to say it, I think the joke reputation that it was written by people who were trying to shove a lot of weird fetishes into every episode is kind of true. Crystal says, "Duh." Vera said, "Oh, guys, you're gonna lose." Crystal says, "Lol." Nora says, "Is Oak here?" Oak says, "No." Vera said, "Nope." Nora said, "Check DMs." Vera said, "Franzi, you're so sweet." Quiggity said, it's the wind, Logan, because that was the one cutscene during the intro of the case where she's facing the red coat. I think you're right. I think that's why I was thinking of Flowin so much. And we just hadn't seen it in a while. Pin message written by Queen K to Pin 50 said, the Miles giving K the notebook image. There's a meme where he's handing, a meme where he's handing over diploma to Clown University instead. Okay. I don't think I've seen that before. If anybody has that, if you can post in the Discord, I'd love to see it. So it hadn't been ruined for me. I thought it was a sweet image. It just was so brief, though. Oak says, Logan, you'd better finish this up fast. Vera says, laughing, the stall is there. That's so funny. Vera said, 1-4 ref. Oak said, I'm actually going to kill someone if he doesn't finish before 3-hour mark. Crap. Whom did Oak killst? Vera said, it was Kaito Kid. Oak says, F. Magpie says, I win again. Quiggity said, Logan's wrong. Vera says, laughing. Vera says, cinema. I thought it was a fall down that, but no, memories, 2 different locations. But I'm going to say it's the Promise Notebook name, because now we're goofing around. Now we got time. Your name was written on the Promise Notebook. That must be the reason. Why would my name being written on a notebook make me think somebody in a red raincoat was standing in the middle of the air? Right. They're not even remotely related, are they? Just before you found yourself here. Okay, so now we can say the right thing. Now we'll be smart, because we didn't lose hit points for that. Memories, 2 different locations. I imagine things are all mixed up in your mind because you were at Gourd Lake one minute, and then at the top of the big building the next. And because you saw the moon in both locations, your mind blended your memories of the 2 together. But those are 2 totally different places. I know I was pretty out of it, but I don't think I could have gotten them confused that easily. I believe these things on the roof may have made you more likely to become confused. The cherry blossoms? I can't say, so present the cherry blossoms? There are 2 key similarities between the scene down by Gourd Lake and here on top of the big building. Cherry blossoms and food stands. Oh, I assume I could have clicked either of them then? Wait, you're right! Those similarities are what caused your memories of both places to overlap. The person in the red raincoat wasn't walking in mid-air, they were walking toward you from across the park. But in your blurry memories, that same sight played out over the viewing platform instead. No way! I'm glad you quit being a prosecutor. You should be like a memory psychologist or something. Who steals a great thief's memories, huh? That's just cheating! Even still, this doesn't answer the question of who attacked Kay in the park. Was it the person in the red raincoat she saw? Amber alert, Amber alert. Hang on, everyone. Everyone's got this, okay. Small child in a white Bronco truck. The license plate number. Just be aware of that as we drive around. Do you hear that? It sounds like it's coming from up in the storeroom. Oh, it's that walkie-talkie. Come on, let's go take a look. Well, Howie, the smell of another scoop in the office. Out of here. You're not allowed, Lotta. You're not my friend. You're still here? I love that Edgeworth didn't... I love that Edgeworth didn't even notice until now. Sorry, I had to cough for a second. Let's go up there. Very slowly. Apparently, no urgency. Oh, it's still going. April 6, 9:53 a.m., 51st floor, storeroom. Look around, it's the walkie-talkie. I was right, it's the walkie-talkie. It's coming from this little gadget here, Mr. Edgeworth. What is it? Was detecting radiation? Carbon monoxide or something? This transceiver. I feel like I've seen it somewhere before. It's still going. But I'm no good with technology. Come on, you have to pick up. Fine, I'll do it. Moshi Moshi, you've reached the law offices of Miles Edgeworth, prosecutor at law. I'm his assistant, Kay. How may I help you today? Beep. Hey, this is Edgeworth. Probably just sound weird because the walkie-talkie. Kay, if you could refrain from answering strange calls for me. Mr. Edgeworth, I presume. I know that voice! Okay, we gotta take some guesses. When I first saw the walkie-talkie, I thought maybe it would be a Shelly the Killer gadget, because he testified to walkie-talkie, but his walkie-talkie looked like him, like bisected down the middle, so it's not gonna be Shelly the Killer. Plus, we already, like, dealt with him in this game. It could be Lang! Maybe Lang is finally gonna come back and do stuff in the next case? Those are my two guesses. Shelly the Killer is coming back or Lang is coming back. Or it could be Gumshoe. Because we were saying, where's Gumshoe? Crap, I hope it's not that Gumshoe's been kidnapped and it's like, okay, so it's one of those three. One of those three. It's either Shelly the Killer, Lang, or Gumshoe. Ah! First guess was right! Shelly the Killer! Congratulations on another case solved. Yet, I can't truly say it's been fully resolved, can you? I'm sure you've noticed by now that there was a mastermind at work orchestrating the entire incident. Huh. How do you even know about this case? That's not what's important right now. Let's focus on this certain individual for the time being, shall we? I have indeed been wondering myself if somebody else could have been involved. If not, how are we to explain the piece of evidence that proved so darning to Kay's case? No way, an evil mastermind! But who? It's but whom, Kay? Oh, indeed. Perhaps you could share your thoughts. What is the evidence in question that points to somebody else's involvement? Ah! The letters! The letter from Kay! It's, yeah. Wasn't that the thing? Kay's letter? Kay's letter. I don't see a hit point meter. Ah, there we go. The letter Kay supposedly wrote to the victim. Yeah, I don't remember ever writing that. So who did? Who would prepare such a thing? I know I'm not the only one who would like to know. And how do we know it wasn't you? Now why would I do a thing like that, eh? I believe the truth can only fully come to light in a court of law. But since you've had your badge revoked, that's no longer an option. So how will it all end? I for one to be watching from the sidelines with interest. He even knows about my badge. Oh, and one last thing. I do hope you won't betray my trust in you. It's so hard to make friends in my line of work. But I feel like we could probably, you know, get along if we hung out. Outside of work, you know. Now I bid you farewell. Initiate walkie-talkie self-destruct button. Boop. Beep. Oh, I was hoping it was gonna like smolder and smoke and break. What the heck did he mean by the case hasn't been fully resolved? Why is he so interested in us anyway? Everything's just one giant ball of mysteries. It seems we've only scratched the surface of this case. But even without my badge, I'm going to carry on doing what I can. However this ends, one thing's for certain. Come what may, I will expose the truth. Are you going to give me a to be continued? I think we did it. The end. Turnabout Forsaken for completing episode 4 of AAI2 PG without using story mode. Save my poggers. Yes, save my poggers. Save my poggers. And then let's read some more in the chat and just fully catch up. Because it's time. It is time to fully catch up. Veer's laughing, says Cinema. Oak says, I spent 10k points on this. I hate everything so much. Veer says, good games. Queen Katie says, if it helps you, Oak, I voted yes, and I'm losing too. Okay, so yeah, we're going to deal with Eustace. I want to see Eustace, like, accomplish something. I want to see him find a way that despite his stupidity, he's able to be heroic in this next case. We also need to deal with that kid that we saw with Penny Nichols this case, and he was also by himself in the museum in the last case. We need to deal with him, and yeah. Let me read some more. Like I said, we're going to fully catch up in chat. So if you're lurking, we're just going to speed through the chat. I'm apologizing. Over on YouTube, let's check that out, because we've only got a couple of comments there. Pitney says, we're going to pass the 3-hour mark laughing, said the best case ever, next stream. I'm excited. I hope Penny Nichols shows up again. We need more of her. Like, that was a cameo we had, but I hope we see more of her. And who knows, maybe we'll see the Delights more than when they were just in the museum as well. Let's see. Bubba said, I spent 900. Vera said, Magpie is just that good. Oak says, I hope you burn Magpie. I spent 10,000 points. Logan, how could you read chat so much? Vera said, I think so. Magpie said, Queen Katie says, we can do this part quickly enough. Oak said, Logan, you aren't even that far behind. Quick said the Miles, giving Kay the notebook image. There's a meme where he's handing over diploma to Clown University instead. Vera said, I sent the meme in AA channel. Thank you, Vero. Oak said, already posted. I killed Magpie and stole their points. Castle says, honestly, my name on a notebook would remind me of that. I am scatterbrained enough. Good to see you, Castle. How are you doing? How long you been in here? Quick said, one more spoiler clip incoming. Oak said, I'm devastated about losing my 10K points. Nora said, oh my gosh, that sounded throttled to me. By the way, Oak, if you're sad about losing those points, all you got to do is just keep watching streams and you'll make more points. Also, we'll do next Metaphor stream. We'll do a prediction on whether we'll be able to defeat Luis first try. After how things were going last time, I feel very confident in my odds of beating him. We'll see how it goes. Pierre said, I love this reference. Are you sure about that? Queen Katie with a clip. Let me load this one up, the clip viewers, so we can all watch this one together. Sounds like this is going to be another one of the spoiler clips where I accidentally foreshadowed something or maybe guessed something right or maybe something very, very wrong. This clip is from 3 months ago from the case in the prison. Okay, and this is titled, yes, the one-off case. I guess a killer for hire was always going to be a tough nut to crack. Okay, killer for hire. So that means either we're talking about, what was the guy's name? Canis, something like that. With the pointed head. It's either him or did they catch Shelly to kill her? I'm guessing Shelly to kill her was probably a one case only thing. It'd be nice to see him again. Yeah, I was surprised today. That was a pleasant surprise. He's a delightfully fun, horrible man. Castle says, I don't think Gumshoe would say, I presume. You know, good call, Castle. I should have said Gumshoe. He probably would have been, Mr. Edgeworth, is that you, pal? Or something like that. Nora says, I was thinking about Shelly to kill her earlier. Vera said, I think he later thought it was someone who kidnapped him. Quickita said, Logan is officially all done with the case. That is the final thing left to do in it. Vera said, 12 minutes over. Oak said, my life ruined. Dinah says, I love To Killer, actually. Vera said, To Killer is awesome. Dinah says, I know he's literally an assassin who killed people, but I can't hate him. I think it's because he's so polite about it. Like, when you have that type of guy who's he's a professional killer, but he's very, he has manners and he has professional integrity and all that stuff like that. He has his own weird, twisted moral code, but he sticks to it nonetheless. Those characters are always pretty interesting and engaging. Vera says, we're all rooting for Eustace. Exactly. And Vera says he has a code of honor, which I respect. He's just like I said. Quickita said, I'm going to save the fan translation of the final case for the next stream. Oh, yeah. What's it called here? Turnabout for the Ages. Oh, I like that. I wonder if there's meaning to that. Because the Ages could be that maybe we're seeing another flashback thing. And I don't think we'll do a full flashback. It could be maybe it's an intergenerational thing. We're going to see something about some young people and older people. Maybe we'll finally find out about the kids of Artie Frost and Carmelo Gusto. Maybe it's, I was going to say maybe it's another time travel thing. We already did that in the regular Ace Attorney and Spirited Justice. So hopefully we're not going to have like Larry popping in again. It's I just saw a dinosaur or something like that. Let's see. Magpie says, look, hang on. Slow mode went down to 30 seconds. Magpie says, look, I put in that many points because you all thought you would win, and I wanted to give you a chance to win big. Castle says, haven't been here long. Visiting stream was a treat for doing the things today, which took a while. Well, I hope it sounds like today was productive then, for you at least. And it's good to see you nonetheless, Castle. I have quickly grown to appreciate your commentary. Oak said, oh crap, we're at the very end. I can see 3 comments away from the end. Oak said, thank you for the very soggy stream, made me smile, even though you lost so many points. Oak. Vera said, thank you for the very Eustace runs out crying stream. Quickita said, thank you for the very yay case for done stream. There we go. 3 hours, 19 minutes, and 6 seconds. I caught up to chat for the first time of the night. Yeah. Let me turn off slow mode as we give the rundown to any lurkers who might still be there. I feel like we lost a lot of them as we went overtime tonight. But let me give you guys the rundown on the stream also, and I'll be checking out now our raid suggestions that were passed out earlier. So for anyone who's lurking or whatever, who just wants to know, we stream Tuesdays, Thursdays, Fridays, and Sundays, currently alternating between this game, Ace Attorney Investigations 2 Prosecutor's Gambit, and Metaphor Refantasio. So that means tomorrow's Monday, no stream on Mondays. On Mondays, we post the schedule on Discord. So I'll be posting that tomorrow. Spoiler, here's a look toward it. Next week, Friday's stream, that's going to be Metaphor stream, will be canceled because I do have a work commitment that night. So there will be no stream Friday. So next week's going to be Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday with 2 Ace Attorney streams. So Tuesday, we're going to be doing some Metaphor. We're at a very exciting point in there where we're doing a big boss fight right at the start of next stream. And then we'll be picking up on Thursday, right where we're leaving off here, with the final case beginning of this game. So check it out. I think it's going to be exciting. Of the raid suggestions we got, I'm going to check to see which one has the fewest number of viewers. I see one that is, actually, that looks like it's probably gone offline. I can't tell. You know what? It's just the picture of the Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Trilogy menu, but it says just chatting and nothing's happening. So I think that person might be AFK. So I will pick the fewest number of viewers from the remaining ones. It looks like it's going to be this person who's playing the game y'all were talking about, Our Life Beginnings and Always, which sounds like you're a little kid and you grow up and fall in love. So let's go ahead. But before I initiate the raid, let me also give you guys a link tree and copy this over to... oh, no, Crystal already did. Crystal's already way ahead of me with that. There's a link tree. It's in the chat there. It's over on YouTube as well. That includes all of our social media, Discord invite link, TikTok, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, all the good things. So feel free to check them out or ignore them if you see fit. There's no pressure on any of those things ever. So let's go ahead and initiate raid here. There we are. And let's see. Over on YouTube, Opinion saying Turnabout for the Ages is genuinely such a good case. I don't know how to emphasize it without getting vaguely spoilery, but I know you'll love it. I'm so excited to ramble about Eustace without fear. I'm looking forward to it because once the game is over, we can talk about whatever. We don't have to worry about spoilers, and I'm very, very excited for it. Nora says, wow. Quick said, see y'all next time for Surely Not Dying to Louise. I feel confident, but maybe there's going to be a really bad second phase. Dinah said, when are you planning to do Ages? Because I want all of your reactions. So again, Ages is going to start Thursday of next week and then Sunday of next week. And yeah, so those will be the next two streams. And then mostly Thursdays, Sundays until however long it takes, unless I have to cancel any for either work or illness or something like that. But that's going to be the plan, Dinah. So I hope to see you there. Crystal said, thank you for the bald stream. Nora said, thank you for the very memory regained stream. Quickita said he streams Sundays and Thursdays for AA. Oak said, oh, he plays AA every other stream. Dinah said, I need to continue Metaphor. Oh, it's so good. Quickita said, I'm so excited actually because this Wednesday, Metaphor is on Game Pass. I'm going to start it. Nice. Oak said, a big boss fight. Quickita said, ooh. Who suggested that? Heck yeah, Our Life. Crystal said, we going to see Cove. Crystal said, me did. Oak said, good night, everyone. Love y'all. Quickita said, Poggers Crystal. There's a raid message. Make sure to copy that down onto your clipboard. Yes, I love and appreciate you all. The raid's about to start. You guys are amazing. Thank you all. We'll see you next time. You're the best community ever. Enjoy the raid. Bye, everybody. Bye. Bye, 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 bye. Whew. And for those watching the VOD or still on YouTube, oh, we had so many people on YouTube earlier, but I think they all filtered out toward the end, except for a couple people. Those left on YouTube and on the VOD. You're all so awesome. And good night as well.